What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Yeah No No Yeah. This is an episode that I've been excited about for a while. It's pretty much our first episode talking about one specific director and all of his films, sort of discussing each one and then ranking them. Who we're talking about today, who's easily becoming a favorite of both me and Liam's, is Park Chan-wook. So we talk about all the films that both him and I have seen from him. We rank them. It's a lot of great discussions. We, of course, open the episode with our usual small topics as always, but that is the main topic this episode. So keep an eye out on the timestamps if you want to avoid spoilers for a lot of the films that we're going to be talking about, and for the poll on Spotify if you want to interact with that. And of course, keep an eye out for the link trees in the description of the episode if you want to find me and Liam's social medias, our Instagram, all of that, and the Patreon link. We would greatly appreciate it if you wanted to support the show. We're always trying to find ways to improve it, whether it be new artwork, what we can do with the episode, like implementing video now, just all sorts of stuff. So your support is always greatly appreciated. And yeah, that's about it. So let's get into the episode. Park Chan-wook, baby. Cool.
Okay.
All right. Well, before we get into anything, I don't want to forget. So let's get the Patreon shouted out.
At least say hi first before you do that.
It's weird because we've been talking before we started recording. I know. So like, it's hi again.
I just meant hi to the people. Hi, people.
Hello, people. We're only 25 episodes in. I mean, you think we would know how to do this, but I just
that's
never
part of the
know.
charm is that we never know.
Yeah, that's true. I want to shout out, we have to shout out our patrons before we get into, I want to and we have to.
Yes.
We love you guys. Yeah, we love you. I'm already not wording this right. I need to drink this coffee. Kath.reviews, thank you for being a patron.
Thanks,
love
Kath.
you.
And moving _ pictures, Julia. Thank you very much for donating. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. Then Sarah's Popcorn Chat. Thank you so much for being a patron.
Still supporting us. Thank you.
Still supporting us. Hasn't left yet. Ardor Film.
There we go.
They get it? Okay.
We got it in the end.
I don't know why I can never get your name right, but now I got it. Thank you, Amy, for being a patron. It
Thanks,
really helps
Amy.
out. And hey, I think you should do the honors for our most recent patron.
I did last time, yeah.
You did? Well, it feels only right that you would do it.
Thank you, Luna _ Pearl. Mom.
I think...
Thanks, Mom.
Thank you to you 5.
Yes.
You're helping us out a lot. We really appreciate it.
Thanks very much. We hope you enjoyed the artwork recently, because that's
For
what
sure.
it's buying pretty much. And
Yeah, that's what it's going towards, so...
You guys are helping a lot.
Well, like I said, I'm really lacking on topics this week. I mean, I guarantee the 2 that I have are probably the same. They've got to be, I'm sure.
Yeah, go for one of them. Why not?
Okay, well, I'll start with the little one. This isn't even something that I care much about, but you brought it up to me. The fact that the last episode we were talking about, potential biopics.
The fact that I'm a genius?
It's not even that we're geniuses, it's just that we prophetic, is that the word? Not prophetic.
Prophets?
No, it is prophetic. You basically predict something that is going to happen. We both done that, I think. It's not the first time that's happened.
Yeah, no. Podcast prophets, that's what we are.
But yeah, anyway, this I already forgot who's playing Michael Jackson. What's the guy's name? I forgot his name.
He's related to Michael Jackson, isn't he? Yeah, he's like...
Well, that would make sense.
Yeah, I think some sort of nephew or something like that, I think. But yeah, I don't know who he is or anything, but yeah. I saw his face and I was just like, okay, maybe.
If he looks like him and if he sounds like him, then that's fine with me.
I'm just worried if they get to the whole white face section, How's that going to be?
Oh, God. Exactly. Maybe that's why a biopic hasn't been done. How do you do that and not have it be, how do you do it right? I don't know.
Yeah, it's just like I said on the last episode. I don't think you can do it very well.
But at the same time, it's, one of the most iconic artists of all time, to where it's like, how has it not been done yet?
Yeah, it's something that you kind of gotta do at some point, but like, how?
I think, yeah, people just don't know how to do it. That's the thing. Like, and you got to do it right, because if you can't screw up a Michael, the King of Pop's biopic.
Yeah,
I will definitely watch it. But
I'll watch it. I don't know if I'll like it,
but yeah, I don't know either. It sounds cheesy, but like only MJ can be MJ. Like, I don't want to see some guy like doing his he and like like doing his little like movements and stuff. I don't want to see some impersonator. Like, I want to see the real deal when it comes to like somebody as unique as that, Like,
yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, there are plenty of artists that have like unique sounds and everything, but he was like truly unique in every sense. And like, how do you do that?
But then at the same time, like, I probably could have said the same thing about the Elvis biopic. Like, I mean,
yeah.
But then again, we've seen some Elvis impersonators are a popular thing, like, around the world. So, I mean, I guess it's not so weird to see. And that turned out to be pretty good. So I guess it can be done right. I don't know. We'll see. I never know with these music biopics. They're always, like, hit or miss. So
yeah. Well, I hope it's good.
We'll have to see, I guess. I hope.
For now, I just want to pay like a little slight bit of respect to the woman that played Tess in the Last of Us game.
Yeah.
She passed away recently. She wasn't like she's not like a massive part of the game or anything, but she was pretty crucial in the beginning and like always someone that I remembered liking quite a bit. So rest in peace. That sucks.
That was really shocking, actually, to see, like, just the timing of it all, too.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's sad. Yeah, very strange timing, but, I mean, I guess she was battling cancer, so that's sad. She was very young, too, very young, so that was sad to see.
Do you want to get into the big one? Like, the big mini topic, I guess.
We can, yeah. Let me just, nothing really. I guess the only other thing would be the fact that we had a Chinese spy balloon over us recently.
What?
I don't know if you... Yeah. This is literally like yesterday. Oh, they shot it down. Wow. Yeah, we spotted a balloon somewhere. I don't know where it was located in our country, but it was a Chinese spy balloon, and then the U.S. military shot it down, it says.
Awesome.
So, yeah, that was that's what a lot of people have been talking about recently, I guess here. I mean, maybe it's not like worldwide.
Man, you've always got something. Just UFOs, robot lawyers, spy balloons.
Just stuff flying in the sky. Yeah, it's it's crazy. I mean, countries have been spying on each other forever, probably. So, I mean, I didn't think they'd be dumb enough to just send a balloon over and just like in plain day.
We're just a news podcast sometimes.
Sometimes. I mean, you gotta sprinkle in a little reality in there sometimes. But
I think that's what makes us different to a lot of the podcasts. We're just very all over the place, but in a good way.
In a good way, yeah. We try to cover everything.
Structured
like
chaos,
the real I
would say.
Yeah.
Alright, so I'm guessing the big one is the whole James Gunn DC slate.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, he released it, and it's a big one. One thing I did see, like, that was part of it was the whole, like, Booster Gold thing. And I never, ever thought that someone would approach Booster Gold. Because, wow, like, that is a character that's been, like, memed quite a lot. Like, I've heard so many people talk about how, like, much of a weird and sort of useless character he is. And then I'm just like, James Gunn actually picked up fucking Booster Gold. Like, no way. That is wild.
That's what we've said, I think, even on, like, the last episode about James Gunn. He'll just take, like, obscure characters, like, in Suicide Squad, he took Polka Dot Man, who nobody gave a shit about, and he was a complete joke in the comics before he was in that movie, and then people now love him, so...
It's just odd for me, because I just think, like, Booster Gold is, like, he has so many weird powers, and, like, it's, like, sort of just a mismatch of different things in one character, and I was like, there's no way they can make that work, but he's trying, I guess. We'll see if it works.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know much about him, to be honest, even though I used to really be into DC Comics. I always knew of Booster Gold, but I never knew his, like, what he was about. I don't know. I'm interested to see it, as well as, like, all of this stuff, which I pulled up, like, a list of, I think it's all the stuff he announced.
Hang on a second. I was just gonna look at his, like, powers. He utilizes advanced technology, allowing flight, energy blasts, force fields, enhanced strength, time travel, enhanced visual powers, and various other abilities. Longevity expert, hand-to-hand combatant, peak athletic ability. I don't know. He's just so much in one character.
That's a
fucking
lot.
Time travel amongst all of that.
Because, isn't he... James Gunn, didn't he say like he's a loser from the past that like gets like access to this technology and then time travels to the future to become a hero or something?
Something
I don't know.
like that. I
Like,
don't know. He's
something
wild.
like that, which that idea is cool.
I'm wondering
I'm
if at
sure
some
it'll be-
point he'll try to approach Bueno Excelente. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember that.
Bring
but
that
I
guy
don't know.
back.
That might be a little too obscure for like.
Well, it's not only
I don't
obscure,
know.
but like his only power is threatening sexual assault. Like that's it.
Oh yeah, no, he ain't gonna risk with that. I don't think.
If he does, he should let like Ezra Miller play him.
Oh no. Yeah, I mean, he could basically with the multiverse shit. I mean,
Just put a bunch of like prosthetics on him, make him look fat like the whale.
oh, is he a fat character? I guess I forgot.
He's just like this fat like mafia guy that just like rapes people basically. So,
Jesus.
I feel like Ezra Miller would nail it.
That's his superpower. Oh man.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. I mean, it's it's bad, but they're never gonna bring that character to the big screen.
I'm hoping for Dog Welder one day. You remember that?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that whole team of people. Yeah,
We'll
that's
approach them
crazy.
one day.
I don't know. I feel like Suicide Squad is about as deep into a weird group of characters you'll probably get. And then
Yeah.
he'll do other characters along the way, but not whatever that team was. I don't know their names.
Section 8.
Section 8, yeah. I don't know if he'll ever do that.
Anyway, part of the actual slate, go on. One of the weird things, like, was just that he's very excited about The Flash, which is very odd to me.
Yeah, I think he's just excited about it for the same reason that I'm excited about it, is that it's going to be resetting a lot of DCEU stuff, you know? I don't know if he's excited for Ezra Miller as the Flash, but like the fact that this is like allowing him to do a lot of what he's doing, right? To like kind of clean the slate with a lot of stuff.
Maybe
you know,
with
'cause-
like cleaning the slate, maybe the case with that will be that like by the end of the movie, like that Flash version is like dead or whatever, and then they bring out a new one that's not played by Ezra Miller. Maybe that's the way that he like smartly does it.
Right.
But if he's like
I could totally see
continuously
that.
going with Ezra Miller, that's kind of worrying.
That is worrying, but I mean, there's been so many different Flash characters in the past and in the comics that it would only make sense to bring
Exactly.
in a different one.
Yeah.
So if they kept him, it wouldn't really make any sense. And who knows by that time what else Ezra Miller will have done to incriminate himself. So
But I
it's
think
only a
James-
matter of time with him.
I think James has like talked about Ezra a bit and said that he's on like the road to recovery. It still feels weird having him there, doesn't it?
Very weird. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't like
The
it.
the annoying thing as well for me is that like I actually like Ezra Miller as an actor. I think he's a good actor, but I just
Oh yeah, as an actor, he's pretty good. I mean,
yeah.
we need to talk about Kevin and Perks of Being a Wallflower. I love those movies,
Yeah.
but it's weird. I'm interested to see what he'll do with him. I am looking forward to like the movie, but not with. I was looking forward to the Flash movie before all this stuff came out about him, but
Now it's just a bit
I don't know.
strange.
I know it leaves me feeling mixed even going into it.
Well, that's gonna be like the next like one that actually comes out, right?
I don't know the order of these. Like the list I have, I don't even know if they put them in the order, so that's the thing. But it would make sense to have the Flash first. I mean, if they're going to be resetting shit, so
Well, whenever it comes out, I
Maybe.
guess we'll see then. But
I think it is
have a
this
feeling
year. I
that a
thought
lot
it
of
was
people
this
probably
year.
won't go and watch it.
yeah, maybe not.
I don't think it's gonna make that much money.
I don't think so either, but I'm sure our theater's gonna get it, so I'm sure I'll go see it and just to see what they do. But it's just gonna be so fucking weird. As for other ones though that I'm more looking forward to, I'm interested to see what he'll do with Superman Legacy. Yet again, it's sad that Henry Cavill's not coming back. I just don't know how you can properly do that.
He just really was a great Superman. Like he just was.
Yeah, I know that people have their own Superman and stuff, but like he's probably my Superman just because I didn't really grow up watching the
I've
old
actually never
Superman.
seen any other version, so
Really?
Yeah.
I've seen like I think it's the Christopher Reeve, whatever the like the early 2000s ones were. I saw those and those were pretty good, but Henry Cavill is just like a perfect fit.
Yeah.
I just thought.
he just really looks the part. The last thing we saw him in was the Black Adam post credits. So
It's laughable like how they took him away, then brought him back, and then now he's gone again, and it's like nobody knows what's going on, which is why this is happening, I guess.
Yeah.
The James Gunn coming in. So
I mean, a lot of people are giving James Gunn some shit for like all of the changes and stuff, but it's not his fault. He's actually the one who's trying to better it.
right. I think I wonder if people are like kind of upset at James Gunn. Like, it's probably just the Snyder people that they're having like a Marvel guy come in, to like fix the DC.
He's not a Marvel
basically.
guy. He made 2 Marvel
Well, a lot of
movies.
people. No, I know, but like when people think James Gunn, a lot of people probably think Guardians of the Galaxy at this point, because like his style is definitely, it lends more towards humor. It just does.
Didn't he make like 3 other films before that or whatever? He's just a director.
Yeah, he's done other stuff. Yeah, he's a director. I mean, and even before that, then like I think he was just a screenwriter and he wrote Dawn of the Dead. So I mean, like I love his writing above all. But
absolutely, that's why I have a lot of faith in him. But I mean, Snyder fans are like the worst fans ever.
They
oh
are.
My God.
They are the worst. So I don't know. I just hope that I want it to have a consistent tone throughout, but then I think he said something. Didn't he basically say like all of these are going to have its own unique, not tone, but he basically said that. I don't know. I just hope that it flows. I just hope it doesn't feel like a mess. I don't know what the Authority is. I forgot when he talked about that. What is that, the Authority?
I've forgotten as well. I think it's some sort of group though.
I don't know how much to say about that one. I'd have to look it up.
Yeah, I can't remember right now.
The Brave and the Bold, though, that's a big one. Well, it's okay. The Brave and the Bold is a Silver Age DC Comics title that for about 15 years starred Batman and Robin in crossover stories with other DC characters.
Yeah.
I think, is this a show? Because he was doing movies and shows. I think this is a movie, though. Booster Gold is going to be a show, it says.
Oh, man.
As opposed to a movie. Yeah, I know, it sucks. Like, I wish it was all just movies. I don't have to. There's already too much shows to watch.
Shows are becoming too huge right now, like, because people can't get the fuck off their couch.
Yeah, and just I just hate like having to connect shows with movies in order for me to get the full scope of things. I just want to watch the movies. I don't have time to watch the shows in order to know what's going on with some of the movies. Like,
yeah, exactly.
It's fucking too much. But I don't know. I'll watch them either way. Depending on what they'll probably be on HBO, I guess, since DC is like partnered with that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to Brave and the Bold. Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Why not? I mean, it could be good.
Have you seen like clips from the like already Supergirl show?
No, but the fact that this will be a movie and it'll have probably a much higher budget and who knows, probably even a whole different cast. I mean, I would hope so. Yeah,
because it's like a CW show or something, isn't it?
Oh god, if it's a CW show, then yeah.
No. I mean, like the old one is like a CW show. I
think so. Yeah. And I can't stand those DC CW shows.
I've seen like
the
clips
lowest
from it
quality crap.
Oh, the dialogue and the CGI. Oh my god.
Sorry, Kath, because I know that you love those CW shows, but they're just the lowest quality.
I'm not sorry, Kath. I'm not sorry at all. They're so bad.
Yeah, they're just so cheesy. But I think this will be a whole different thing.
Yeah,
like it'll have a much higher budget. It'll look way better. The acting will be better. The effects. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. This one though, I'm actually looking forward to probably the most out of all this stuff. But Swamp Thing is getting a movie.
Yeah.
And that's gonna be like, for a second I thought it said it would be directed by horror master Wes Craven, but that doesn't make sense because he's dead. So it said that the last 2 movies Wes Craven did direct them in like an old version in the past, so that's what it was. But yeah, anyway, it'll investigate the dark origins of Swamp Thing. I can't wait for that. I just want a dark, weird character to be
that sounds
done
fun.
well. And yeah, I think that'll be cool. It'll probably be like a horror movie. And for that, I mean, that looks like it's it for the movies because the rest are all shows. Creature Commandos, don't really know what that is.
Aren't some of them like animated shows as well?
Maybe. Okay, Creature Commandos are, it's another super team formed from Amanda Waller, but it's formed out of monstrous prisoners. Wait, what? Is this just talking about Suicide Squad or Creature Commandos? I don't understand.
Yeah, it's probably similar.
Okay, yeah.
Isn't there going to be like a Amanda Waller like show as well or something like that?
Yeah, that's the next thing actually is the Waller show, which come on. I don't really care. But then again, like, who knows? It could be good. Like, there's been times to where it's like back when Better Call Saul was announced, people were like, who needs a show just about Saul? And then look at it now, it's like won awards. It's fucking an awesome
Yeah,
show.
but I doubt that like it's gonna be as good as that. Like, even though I haven't seen
I
Better
guess
Call
that's
Saul.
a bad comparison, but like there's been times, I guess, to where like, you know, we'll take a obscure character and give him a show, and like it turns out to be kind of good.
Yeah, but
So-
she's had like enough screen time as it is already. Like, I don't want her to be a huge thing anymore. I'm just kind of like, yeah, she's there.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, and
I
she's,
just
like,
like
not
seeing
even-
her on the side, not like front and center all the time. I feel like
Right.
putting her front and center would make her less threatening.
That's true. Yeah, the less you see of her, like, you know, that's
Yeah.
supposed to be the more you're kind of intimidated by her. But I mean,
Maybe it'll be directed by Vince Gilligan. Who knows?
I mean, there. I shouldn't have brought up the Saul comparison because there's like no real like connection to that at all. I mean, that would, yeah. I mean, just have Vince Gilligan direct one of these shows, I guess. But no, she was never the most like interesting part about anything that she was in. It was always like the team that she formed, the characters she was like in charge of. Those were the
Yeah.
interesting parts of the movie, not really her. I don't know. Viola Davis is good.
Yeah,
so
she's good.
Maybe it'll be good. There's 2 shows left. I'll just get the one I'm not as looking forward to out of the way. Paradise Lost. Oh, it'll touch on Wonder Woman's history.
Oh, that's the one with the fucking, like, you know, that like group back on her like world or whatever, or where she grew
Yeah,
up
the
or something.
Themyscirans.
Yeah, those people, like all them.
Yeah,
Like, I think it's gonna be probably like led by Robin Wright. I think.
she's good.
Yeah,
I
but
like
I just
Robin Wright. I mean,
I like her too, but it's just like
maybe it'll be
it's not
House
that
of
interesting.
Cards set in Themyscira. I don't know.
Yeah, get Kevin Spacey in there.
Oh no, he'll be the villain. Yeah, bring him back as the bad guy for.
He can play Bueno Excelente. Oh God, why have I said this?
Oh no, that's yeah. I mean, it would. It'd be fitting,
Jesus
I guess,
Christ.
for his character.
A bit too fitting.
Yeah, too fitting. He would have already. It's some real method acting there.
Oh my God.
But no, I actually, now that I think about it, because I liked the first Wonder Woman quite
Yeah.
a bit.
Yeah.
And I like Robin Wright, so maybe that'll be good.
I hope it is. It's just I'm not like super interested in that whole world. Like, that was one of the lesser parts of those movies for me, especially
Yeah.
Wonder Woman 1984.
Oh, yeah.
The
Yeah.
best part of that was Pedro Pascal.
Sure. Yeah, just how crazy he was.
He was
that was the
fucking
best
nuts.
part. Yeah, he was.
Jesus.
But apart from that, the movie was a complete shit show. Anyway, this last show is I'm really looking forward to it just based on how James Gunn described it. Lanterns, the Green Lantern Corps, because they haven't really
Yeah.
touched on that in the DC like universe yet, the current canon or whatever. But I don't know, the Green Lanterns are cool, but he described it as like True Detective in space, which is fucking, that'd be awesome. I don't know if you've seen True Detective, but
No, but Julia's gonna show me like some of the first season when she gets here. So
I feel like you're gonna really like it.
Oh, I
Like
know I
that.
will.
Matthew McConaughey's character is one of the coolest, most interesting fucking characters I've seen in a TV show.
I'm keen.
Like,
for
and
that.
he's literally me character.
Oh, boy.
He is.
Oh boy,
So just wait, it's so good.
exciting.
So I'm looking forward to that. It will be an enormous TV event series focused on the two lanterns unraveling a dark mystery. It's like a buddy cop thing, it says.
I've actually never seen the Green Lantern movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh god. Well, you're not missing much. You're saving yourself, actually.
Okay.
That movie's a weird, terrible movie. Yeah, that's about all the Green Lantern, or not the Green Lantern, the DC stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm looking forward to at least, for sure, half of it I'm hyped for.
Yeah.
There's like half of them that I don't really care about, but
But then again, like, some of them like kind of being stuff that we don't necessarily know much about or whatever, that's probably a good thing, you know? That we can like
Right.
see some new characters and see some new shit come out.
for sure.
That's cool.
Like, and your average person has no idea who Creature Commandos and Booster Gold and like people like that are. It's gonna, introduce a lot of new stuff to people.
Yeah.
It can't get much worse, like we said. So I think it's heading in a good direction. for
True,
DC.
true.
That's all. I mean, that was all my topics. I'm sure you have more.
I do, but I'm struggling to pick like which one I want to go for. I'll only do like one more for now. Do you want something like that's gonna make you a bit like annoyed and will probably debate shit, or do you want something that's just goofy?
I mean, we don't have time for both.
I want to talk about the main topic like the most, really. So you
True,
know.
me too. I do too. So you can just pick one. I'm fine with either, honestly, with that. I don't need to debate. I mean, but I really want to know what it is. I want to know what both are.
I can tell you what both are, and you can just pick the one you want to talk
Sure.
about.
Yeah.
Okay, well, the goofy one is just that the M&M's mascots quit, basically.
I saw that. Oh my god. And it was replaced by that one lady. What's her name?
Maya Rudolph.
Fucking
Rudolph.
I don't even care much for her. I think she's kind of annoying.
Oh, she is extremely annoying. That's why I wanted to talk about it. I'm like,
what a
mistake.
What a mistake by the M&M's marketing team. What are you doing?
Yeah, they've been around for many
M&Ms
years.
were your people. Yeah.
The amount of like Rule 34 shit that's been drawn about the green M&M, like, come on.
Rule 34, what?
You don't know Rule 34?
Maybe I do, but I don't want to seem stupid. What is it?
Oh, Rule 34 is like, they have like a bunch of like rules of the internet, basically. So there's somewhere there's a list, but Rule 34 is that like, if it exists, there's a porn of it. So the amount of Rule 34 that's been drawn of the green M&M.
I remember, the green M&M being like weirdly overly sexualized, but
weird,
yeah, but I do remember, like, didn't they put the green M&M on like a big digital billboard advertising, and then I saw a meme that was like Ryan Gosling looking up at the you know, the big but it was green. Anyway, yeah, that's all I gotta say about the M&M people, I guess.
Fair enough. Yeah, I don't know why they've done that.
It's a mistake. Weird. It's a terrible idea. Yeah,
come on, M&Ms, get it together. Well, the one that would piss us off, I guess, is just that you know about like Hogwarts Legacy. It's coming out like pretty damn soon.
Oh yeah, it's like this week.
Yeah. There are so many people on every fucking platform just going, if you buy this game, you are transphobic, and it's
oh no,
never ending. Like it's actually becoming like fucking huge, like everywhere I go, and
well,
like there's huge petitions being made and shit, and people signing it, and it's like, why?
I mean, it's not like J.K. Rowling like produced and developed the game herself and wrote the code herself.
Exactly.
Like, she's just one person. She just created the world.
I know.
You know, there's more people at work than just, that's ridiculous. I mean, it's not like I doubt in the game they're like teaching, you know, there's a class that your character goes to that teaches transphobic stuff. Like, no. So I mean, if that was the case, then yeah, sure. But no.
The thing that I keep saying about it is just that you're like, you know, putting this kind of shit on like one person when there are like so many other people that worked incredibly hard on this game. You're just, you know, not going to buy it, or you're going to boycott it because of that, even though all these people worked pretty fucking hard on it. Mm-hmm. Like, Jesus Christ.
Not only that,
because of one person.
Why? Yeah, because of one person. And you can make the same argument then those people can about like, well, if you go back and watch any of the movies or read any of the books, you can't do that either. Why suddenly the game is being attacked? It's just a video game. Like,
I know,
I don't know.
So stupid.
It is stupid. I don't even really follow much of that controversy anyway about her or whatever she said. I don't really care. I just try and focus on the art itself, not really If she came out as like a convicted rapist or something, then yeah, that's a different. Then I would feel kind of weird, I guess, but not real. I mean, it's different. Yeah,
it's very different. This thing, like, she is so like far removed from like that kind of stuff, I think. You know what I mean? Like, she wrote the books and all that. Maybe she had like something to do with the writing for like the story in Hogwarts Legacy, I would think. And
if anything, yeah. I mean, who knows if she even had a hand in any of it? I don't know.
But you know, that aside, there's, you know, other writers there as well, I would think, and you know, people doing all the fucking coding, design, everything. Like, it's so much work to put into this game, but because of one person, it gets boycotted and petitions to not be brought out.
I had no idea this was like actually a thing.
Oh, it's massive. Like, it's online. Going insane right now.
I didn't know it was massive. Wow. How many on the petition? How many people have like...
I can have a look.
I don't know then. I guess I'm transphobic because I'll probably buy the game.
I'm gonna edit that to make you sound really bad.
Oh, I'm sure that people could cut that 5 seconds out right there and themselves and be like, ooh. And right now I'm actually reading like through the Harry Potter books, or I'm trying to at least. So, I guess I'm in double trouble right now.
Yeah.
I'm reading the books too.
I think it's like as of January, like early January or something, it says it had like 1 million signatures.
Holy.
Yeah, it's fucking huge.
What in the world are people thinking? Like,
I don't know.
You can attack the person themselves, but like realize that her art is not a representation of like her supposed transphobic beliefs, whatever. Like, you know, it's
fiction.
It's not like she's pushing transphobia in all of the stuff.
I mean, I say this, you know, keeping in mind that I have like a huge amount of connection to the Harry Potter and that entire world, and I adore it, but it's literally people waving fucking wands at each other and flying on broomsticks. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. Yeah. And I don't know if you saw this, but I actually saw a feature in the game to where when you create your character, you can't even choose the gender. You just create how they look.
Oh.
Yeah, that's supposedly a thing in the game to where like they don't even give you an option to like choose, male or female. You just kind of create how your character looks and then the voice. So like that is like in favor of, the people that would be protesting this. Yeah. So, I mean, the game is, like, trying to cater towards those people. And apparently it's just not good enough. I don't know.
Nothing's good enough. This is no,
it's not.
2023.
People always need something to protest and complain about, even though it's so meaningless. Like, there are more important issues at hand than a Harry Potter video game.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to play the game. I want to play the game even more now after that.
I can't wait to play the fucking game. I can't wait.
I don't care. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that was the thing.
There you go.
If you want, like, just before we get into the main thing, like, I had just one more, like, small one just because I saw it, and I don't know if you even know about it, but it just sounds like it's right up our alley. You know Derek C. in France?
No, who's that?
He's the guy who made The Place Beyond the Pines.
Oh, okay. The director?
Yeah. He's making a new movie called Wolfman.
Okay.
And it stars Ryan Gosling.
Oh.
And I am very excited.
I didn't even hear. How have I not heard about this?
I don't know, but I just heard about it. It's like literally about a guy who like turns into a werewolf, and it's with Ryan Gosling, and it's directed by him.
Wow.
I was like, what?
Ryan Gosling has been taking on like a whole variety of roles lately, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I guess he's done like 2 other movies with that guy, so...
Oh, I just looked up on Letterboxd. Yeah, that's cool.
It's...
Because, Place Beyond the Pines is great, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I love it so much. I still have to see Blue Valentine. I really want to watch it.
Me too. I still have to see that too.
That kind of director doing a movie about a guy who gets bitten by a werewolf? What?
Yeah, I know. It's just so random and like, I'm looking forward to that.
I just thought I'd mention it because that sounds so cool.
It's a movie I didn't know I needed.
Alright, is it that time?
Well, I think it's that time to get into the main topic.
Let's go. I'm excited.
I'm excited too because this is our first episode to where because we've done similar episodes to this with artists, like music artists.
Yeah.
But we haven't really done an episode on a director yet, and these are the episodes I actually look forward to the most, honestly. Like just going through. We're gonna be talking about Park Chan-wook.
Yeah.
And our boy Park Chan-wook.
Park Chan-wook. He's. I have to say that like as of today, he's becoming a favorite. Big time.
Dude, same.
Wow.
I mean, he's always, for me, Old Boy alone like made him a favorite of mine, but like watching more of his stuff, it's just solidifying the fact that like he's probably, unless I could think of another, but I don't think I can, he's probably my favorite international director, like non-American director. He's got to be, because
I mean, from what I've seen, he would have to be very up there for me as well. Yeah, like up until a week and a half.
Sorry, I just remembered Lars von Trier. Maybe he's my favorite international. He probably is, but Park Chan-wook is close.
Yeah,
anyway,
a week and a half ago, I had only seen Old Boy, and now I've seen like 6 others, and fuck, man, like, wow.
I know you were on a roll. I'm kind of jealous because I really wanted to. I hope I can like do this episode justice, but I was really wanting to rewatch a lot of his stuff in preparation, but I only got to watch. Well, I watched Decision to Leave like not too long ago, and then I watched Lady Vengeance recently. But man, I was really wanting to rewatch a few of these to really like have more to say about them. But I'll do my best. I want to do this guy justice.
Yeah, he deserves it. For now, this is good enough, I think. Like, we've both seen the same amount of movies. You've seen some that I haven't. I've seen some that you haven't. Like, that makes it a little bit even, at least.
I think so, yeah. We haven't seen all of his movies. We still have more to... We're not going to be able to completely get a full grasp on this guy, but we know enough.
And we'll have plenty to talk about still.
For sure. Yeah.
Do you want to start with like talking about ones that the other person hasn't seen, just like so we don't, get into
let's do too much about it. So like how many have I seen that you haven't and vice versa?
Okay, so the ones that you've seen that I haven't, Joint Security Area and The Handmaiden, and the ones that I've seen that you haven't, I'm a Cyborg but that's okay, and Thirst.
Oh, cool. So it's 2 and 2. Okay.
Yeah, 2 and 2.
So yeah, we'll just go back and forth until we talk about what we have seen. I'm surprised you haven't seen The Handmaiden. I mean, that.
You want to start with that?
Sure, yeah, because I mean, I'm surprised that I've seen the movie twice. People say that there are actually people that say it's his best movie, that say it's even better than Old Boy. It's like a masterpiece, and like I can see it, but even after 2 watches, I need a third. I just, it's a great movie. It's a great mystery. It looks amazing. Like the acting, just everything about it is great, but it's got the same issue that if I had to critique Park Chan-wook, for me it has the same issue that a lot of his movies have, where they always just get so lost in its own story to where I'm just like, wait, what's going on? Who is this? Like, what? I start to get a little confused because it's a good and a bad thing about him. It's like the way he tells his stories. It can feel all over the place at times and kind of like complex.
Yeah, it can be somewhat confusing.
So like you really have to be really hyper focused on like, okay, so this person and this person, that's happening, and now we're cutting to this time, and it's just all over. So that's why a third rewatch, I was really hoping to do that at some point.
You really got to pay attention to some of his moments that he has.
You really do, but I mean, apart from that, it's a 9 out of 10 for me, so it is very close to being like perfect, but that's my only critique, is that it can just be very hard to follow at times, like everyone's motivations, who's thinking what and what's going on, and like why are people doing things. And like I said, that's kind of an issue, the only issue I have with like any of his other movies too. They could just be a bit hard to follow at times, but overall it's like, I mean, it's one of his best, even though I've only seen 7 of his movies. But I'm looking forward to a third watch, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you think too, because it's a great movie. It is.
I did want to watch that today, but it's like quite long, and I didn't have time to do it.
And just the soundtrack too, like that's another thing about his movies. The soundtrack is always gonna be great. It's just always gonna be.
He's very consistently good with music.
100%.
I'll go to one of mine then that you haven't seen. I'll do Thirst first. Thirst?
Yeah. I feel like that we would probably disagree on this one. I haven't seen it yet, but I already know that I'd probably enjoy it more. I don't know.
You might. I don't know.
Maybe.
I can see you enjoying it to an extent. It's Park Chan-wook making a vampire movie, and it's strange because of that. But I mean, I don't know. I think I just felt like the pacing was really, really off, and I don't know. It definitely could have been shorter. It's like a bit over 2 hours, I think, and it's like you really, really start to feel it towards the end. Like the last 40 minutes or so is really like chaotic and interesting and kind of what I wanted it to be for most of the runtime. But there's like a whole midsection where I was just like, I don't care. I don't know.
That's honestly
it also doesn't really leave you with a lot to like think about afterwards. You're just like, okay, that story happened, now the movie's over. I don't really feel anything from it. I didn't really care about the characters too much. They're kind of both just like as shitty as each other, I guess. So I don't know. I just didn't know what to think of it.
Fair.
But I ended up giving it like a 4 out of 10 when I reviewed it, just because I don't think it's among his best at all. But Song Kang-ho is very good, as always.
Who? Sorry?
Song Kang-ho.
Oh yeah, him.
Yeah,
he always just pops up in all these movies, like whether it's Park Chan-wook, Bong Joon-Ho, like he's always popping up, and it's nice to see him though. Even movies outside of those 2 directors too. Like I don't know if you've seen A Taxi Driver, Taxi Driver, but A Taxi Driver.
No, I've been wanting to see that for a while.
That's a great movie, and he's always like one of the best parts of whatever he's in usually. But no, I mean I'm looking. A vampire movie by Park Chan-wook, that already sounds interesting.
It does.
So I hope that I like it.
It sounds interesting, and that's why I wanted to see it. But I was like, oh.
You are right though. Like the pacing is just one more thing that sometimes can be a fault in his movies. If I had to critique any, but like a movie that we'll talk about later, but like Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance, at times that movie does drag a bit for me. So. But which is why I wanted to rewatch it, because maybe I would change my mind on that. Just like moments here and there in his movies, but otherwise, I don't know.
I definitely felt that with Thirst, but like I think the problem with that one is just that it's it's a really goofy story. It's a vampire movie, and like it doesn't really justify its length because of that. I don't think.
Does it take itself really seriously, or does he kind of like embrace the goofiness of a vampire story?
I think it takes itself too seriously up until the last 40 minutes, and then it goes fucking hog wild. But it's I don't know, like up until that point, it's like it has little sprinkles here and there of just this is really goofy and shit, but like for most of it, it's like a real like inner conflict for the main character, and it's I don't want to spoil it, but Yeah, I won't say anything.
Either way, yeah, that'll be interesting to see.
I hope you like it more than I did.
I really hope. I haven't disliked any of his movies yet. Like, I think his lowest rated movie for me is a 4 out of 5. So, like, I really have been loving everything I've seen from him. But I do have to see a couple of those weird lesser known movies that I know you've seen. So, I guess speaking of lesser known, because, like, people don't really talk about this one, Joint Security Area. Man, I really wanted... That was one of the few I really wanted to rewatch before this. Fuck. Instead, I watched Knock at the Cabin last night. I mean, yeah, I'm glad I watched that too, but I should have squeezed one of these in.
I was going to watch that one instead of I'm a Cyborg, but I wasn't able to get the torrent in time.
Oh. I have to say, like, yeah, this one, real surprise. It was just a great movie, great mystery. It's basically about, you know, the border between North Korea and South Korea, and, like, there was a shot fired and, like, one of the soldiers killed somebody else on the other side, and you don't really understand, like, what exactly went down, but it shows from a lot of different characters' perspectives, like the perspective of the South Korean soldier, what he thinks happened, and then the North Korean soldier, what they think happened. And you're following, like, the main protagonist is this, like, this lady that has to go in and can be completely neutral because, you know, she doesn't want to provoke either side and, like, start conflict. So
that sounds interesting.
It's just it is very interesting. Maybe the only flaw is, like I said, some pacing, but apart from that, like, really interesting story. It's got oh my gosh, the guy that we just mentioned,
Song Kang-ho.
Yeah, he's in it, and he's a pretty big part, and so he definitely is a standout. And
I'll always take more in. He's good.
Always, yeah. Yeah, overall, it was just a great movie. I was between a 4 and a 4.5 on it. I think it's just, like, went between the two, but great movie. It was hard placing this in my ranking, which we'll talk about later, but I look forward to you watching that as well. It's just a good mystery.
Yeah, I look forward to it. It looks cool. Was it his first film?
Was it? If that's the case, then damn, like, that's up there in terms of, like, some of the best debuts I've seen, because
really,
like I said, it was close to a 9 out of 10. It was, like, really, really good.
I look forward to watching it. Well, we'll get to I'm a Cyborg, but that's okay.
I don't even know what the hell this one's about. This one just looked weird to where I was like, I'm gonna save that one for last.
Well, this one came right after the Vengeance trilogy. He did the Vengeance trilogy, and then he did Thirst and this. I said in my Thirst review, like, I think I started off the review by just saying I really hope this is Park Chan-wook's worst movie, but it wasn't. I'm a Cyborg is easily. I'm serious, like, I say this with all sincerity, and I know you love him, but I cannot see you liking this very much. Like,
really?
It's just
it baffles me because it has, like, a 3.6 average on Letterboxd. A lot of people seem to enjoy it.
I swear that must be just because people love Park Chan-wook. Like, if it was done by somebody else, it would not have that score. I'm sure of it.
I'm just reading the description too, though, and, like, the description sounds so wacky that, like, it might be fun to watch.
It's,
like,
just, it's too long for that, and it's like, it's so many different, like, themes in one. It's sort of just this weird, like, rom-com, I guess. But it's also really, like, it's got these underlying themes that are really serious, and they don't really mesh very well, I don't think. It's just a really muddled movie, and, like, I was literally, like, before we recorded, like, that's when it was about to finish, and there was, like, 5 minutes left of the movie or something like that, and I was like, fuck, please just end. Like, it just kept going, and it's, like, an hour and 47 minutes, and I was like, this feels longer than fucking Oldboy. Like, it feels longer than Lady Vengeance, all of them. It felt longer than Thirst, and Thirst is like an hour, 2 hours and 10 minutes or something.
Wait till you get to Handmaiden, because, like I said, I think that's probably his longest movie. Well, that and maybe
that'll probably fly by in comparison
long.
To this.
Oh yeah, those are actually good. I mean, so
I just think, like, it was an idea that didn't play out very well. There are a lot of, like, visual parts of it that are really embarrassing, honestly. Like, it's not a great looking movie half the time. Which is, like, really surprising for him as well, because most of his movies look fucking fantastic. But it's just, like, it was a real letdown. It just didn't feel like him. I could see you liking Thirst, but I can't see you liking this very much.
I don't know. My taste can surprise people, you know? Like, I mean, there was a time where I gave card count. I know. But I mean, remember, there was a time where I gave the card counter, like, 5 out of 5. So my taste, you know, was unpredictable as
the card counter I can understand. Like, I really can, but this, oh god.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
I just didn't like it.
I have I am guilty of, like, if I love a director, I will like trick myself into like loving a movie, even if like if I didn't know it was directed by that person, maybe I wouldn't like it. But the thought of them directing it is what elevates it for me.
Yeah.
So like I'm just a fanboy of some people, and like so maybe that would help it a bit. But
I can definitely see what he's going for with it, definitely. But it just didn't play out very well. I don't think that's all.
No, I fully expect it to be like bottom tier for me. Like, but that's because the others are so high too. So
I wouldn't say like it's a downright like absolutely horrible movie or anything like that, but it's just absolutely the weakest, and I can't see that changing. Like
Yeah.
I'm gonna
And
see.
I'm sure I would.
I'm gonna see
honestly
Joint
agree with
Security
you.
Area and The Handmaiden, and I can't see this being better than any of those. So
No, I'm sure it's not gonna be. Well, now I'm interested in seeing that just to see what I would think. But
I'd love to see your reaction.
I know it'll be a weird one. Well, yeah, we got through the ones that neither of us have seen from each other. So let's go old to recent. Actually, I didn't know that this came before Old Boy, but Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance would be the
Well,
first
it's the Vengeance
one.
trilogy.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
I just assumed, for some reason I thought Old Boy was the first of the trilogy.
Nah. It's like that, then Old Boy, then Lady Vengeance.
Like I said, I'm sure you'll have much more to say about it than me because it's a lot fresher in your mind, but great movie. It's a great start to this trilogy, which is loosely a trilogy, but yeah.
Didn't you rate it like a 9 out of 10 or something?
I did rate it a 9 out of 10 right after viewing it, and then later on I actually dropped it to a 4 just because, which is still a great movie, but that's why I need to rewatch it, is because if the memory of the movie starts fading, so like if it doesn't stick with me after a while, then for me the rating drops a bit because you know, it just has to really stick with me, and unfortunately only a few moments did.
I mean, I watched it today. Like, I watched three of his movies today. Well, 4 if you include a rewatch. I'm all movied out today. Fucking hell.
Damn, yeah.
But
I'm jealous. I wish I did a marathon like that.
February 5th from now on is Park Chan-wook Day. So I started with Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance, and like, I do have to say that like right afterwards, I was just thinking to myself, this is a fucking 10. Holy shit.
Really?
I could not. I need you to rewatch it at some point because God.
No, I need
damn.
to. I want to. I'm gonna be so upset actually because I would see myself rewatching this within the next few days, and I would have wished like fuck. Now I wish I could have said this on the podcast or like. So that's gonna happen. But either way,
probably. But yeah, I just like I couldn't believe it when I finished the movie because it's just so contained and it's such a unique story that I just I can't get over like how like well presented all of the themes were and all that. There are no heroes, there are no villains. It is just like it is literally just like humanity being fucked up.
Right.
And you're just watching these people and you're just like, I don't know who to root for. I don't like I feel sympathy for these people, but I don't know why, because they're doing horrible things, but also they're not doing them completely like free of reason, I guess. It's fucking crazy. I just loved it so much. I couldn't get over it.
I think that was my initial reaction too right afterwards, and I know that I'll feel more strongly about it when I rewatch it. But no, that's exactly how I saw it too. Yeah, he does a good job at like not making you sure how to feel about things. Like, you know, he makes you like conflicted on things. Like things aren't just black and white, they're really gray, and like people, like everyone's done something bad in their life. That's like the vibe I get from his movies. Like nobody's completely perfect, which is a theme in one of his later movies, which we'll talk about. Like there's not a perfect person. So I can't wait to rewatch it. It is the one that I'm most looking forward to rewatching out of all of these. The action's brutal. Like that's another thing I liked about it, which they really hit that home, like his use of action or violence rather. Yeah, like, it's not even like an action scene. It's just kind of just unsettling violence at times.
I want to get into spoilers.
I know.
I really want to get into spoilers.
I mean, you can if you want. Yeah.
Spoilers for Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance.
Thank you.
All right.
There was one scene where like it happened, and I don't remember doing this since like Uncut Gems because like that movie stressed me out so much. But like I had to get up and take a walk, like take a breather.
Oh wow.
So I was like, Jesus Christ. The scene at the river.
Oh god, that's towards the end, right?
No. The first scene at the river where he buries his sister in the rocks, and then that child comes to like swim for him and drowns.
Oh god, yeah.
It's just like so much at once.
Mentally handicapped
there's that
kid,
that
or in the, like that character.
Yeah, that guy comes along at one point.
Yeah, oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
But, like, it's
God,
just,
yeah,
you
I
know,
remember
him being, like, really... He's, like, grieving his sister's death. He's burying her in rocks. This guy's coming in and fucking it up. He's deaf, so he can't hear this child drowning behind him. It's like,
man.
oh my fucking God. I was
know.
like, dude, oh my God, help me. I was not okay after that. Jesus.
That just like scenes like that inspire me to like if I ever made a movie, I just want to think of a situation as fucked up as that. You know, I don't know why. That's props to Park Chan-wook for
seriously,
just thinking of this stuff.
It's not only that, but like he has that whole sequence, and he's just sort of like, you know, shocked by all of this. But then he goes to like lay low, obviously. But then kang-ho, like the girl's father, like comes along, finds her drowned. There's police everywhere. He's grieving. They take him to the hospital, and they're like operating on her and shit, like in front of him, and he's just standing there, like watching her being like sawed and like cut open and shit. It's like, Park Chan-wook, what the fuck, man? Like, what the hell? This is horrifying and so sad. I was like, oh my God, I just couldn't believe it.
See, so many of these moments, some of them are coming back to me, like that scene at the river.
Yeah.
But even the scene you just talked about, I'm having trouble remembering like how it played out. So that's why when I rewatch, I can't wait, because it'll be like almost like a first viewing again, because maybe I just didn't have a good first viewing experience or a memorable one. I don't know what happened, but
I'm sure you'll love it.
I'm sure I'll remember all this. Oh, I think so too. And I'm not gonna lie, if I'm in the right mood, it could probably be a 10 for me too.
Yeah.
Because I mean, yeah.
I can't see anything I don't love about it right now, really.
Yeah, it was amazing. That was a heavy one for you to like start off your marathon too.
Yeah.
I would have like tried to work my way to like lightest to heaviest, but that was up there.
I wanted to do the Vengeance trilogy, like first and foremost,
sense, yeah.
So I just ended up doing all those. But that was a tough start for sure. Like just how crazy it gets as it goes on, like it plays out so horribly, and it's just so sad and disgusting. There's that one,
it is
like
a very depressing movie. Very depressing.
Very,
movie.
yeah. Do you remember that scene where the main guy with the green hair, like the deaf guy, he like goes to beat up those like kidney donor people?
Mm-hmm.
Like, well,
doesn't he have a baseball bat or something?
Kidney stealers, basically. But he did.
Yeah, I remember that.
I was like, this is a fucked up, like, brutal scene. Like, he's beating the absolute shit out of them. But like, it's what set it off. Like for me was just he walks in the room and instantly there's like a guy fucking a dead body.
Oh God,
Jesus
I don't remember
Christ.
that.
Yeah, that's what was happening, and he was fucking a dead body in front of his mother.
Okay, now I gotta rewatch this, because if I could forget a scene like that, I don't know how I forgot that scene. Now that you're saying it though, I do remember that happening. I can't visualize it. Like, not that I want to, but I can't visualize like what the fuck the scene, like where they were. Yeah, I gotta rewatch this.
It was a painful watch, but it's a fucking great film. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
I can't wait.
Yeah, we can move on if you want, because Jesus.
Sure. Yeah, that could easily a rewatch would probably change my ranking up. I know it would.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Well, oh man, the next one. I mean, I could talk forever about this, and I'm sure we both could. But
yes.
OLDBOY.
OLDBOY.
Where do I start with OLDBOY?
And I gave it a rewatch right after Sympathy as well, so
yeah,
watch the whole
I saw
trilogy.
that. And I'm glad that you say it's a 10 as well.
Well, it was initially a 9, but yeah, this watch really solidified it as a 10. It's just...
Yeah.
Jesus.
It gets better and better. I pick up more things every time I view it. And I mean, like I said, it's in my top 3 movies of all time. Like, and it always probably will be. I love it so much. So I don't even know where to start with movies like this.
Yeah. It's amazing. It's just so amazing.
Yeah, it's amazing. I think it has everything about Park Chan-wook's style, whether it's the action or the soundtrack or the characters and the story. It feels like it has all of his best qualities, but like to the max for me.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
To me, it just feels different from all of his other movies though, because it's shot so differently, and it feels so different. I don't know why. Just the way it's shot, and with all the close-ups and just the camera movement and the just crazy stuff that he does. I don't know. It's just, I just don't even know.
Watching it this time around, like, I was just sort of like instantly loving it, because like the opening was just so good.
Listen to the opening's so good.
Like that,
like
it's just that one shot of him like holding the tie and like shit, and then the music. You're like, fuck.
I know, it's the perfect way to hook the audience, like, it just hooks me right away with the, you're right, because the music and just, like, you're wondering what the fuck is going on, who is this guy, why is he holding this guy over, that you think he's, like, you know, you don't even know what is going on right off the bat. I love how it cuts right from that to him being drunk in, like, a prison or a jail, and he's just being a complete fool. Like, and that's the thing, is that this movie is hilarious at times, mainly in that scene. Like, that scene alone is, like, it's just hilarious, the way it's edited. He's, like, freaking out, and then they stick him in between all these, like, guys, and he's all quiet. And, like, I don't know, his friend bails him out, and then he's like, I'll be seeing you again. And then we're like, we hope not, or no, you won't. And he's like, that's up to me, assholes, or whatever he said. I don't know.
Then he just runs off.
He runs off.
Oh, I love it.
And then from the opening scene, it's so intense, like, and it hooks you, but that's why I think it is his best, is because you're just taken on like a ride, and I feel like it never slows down. Even during the slow moments, I'm always interested, because, like, you don't know what's going on, and you're, like, completely put in this character's shoes, because you're wondering, like, why was he imprisoned for 15 years and then just released, and, like, what did he do, or who did this to him? And it's just, it never lets me go. Like, it hooks me and never lets me go.
Yeah, it's a story that just keeps getting interesting, and you're really wrapped up in the mystery of what the hell happened, I guess.
And that's the thing, is that similar to Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance, you can see, like, they've all done kind of bad things, to where, like, at first you are completely on the side of, you know, Ode-su, and then just once you learn, I guess, about what he did, and we'll have to get into some spoilers for Oldboy for sure. You know, he did a fucked up thing. And so it's like, well, I guess I can see where the main bad guy is coming from, and you could totally, you're sympathetic for him in a way. Yeah.
But at the same time, you can feel a lot of sympathy for Ode-su, because it's just like, he went like way beyond, like, what he took was deserved.
Right, like, what he did is way less, like, the crime didn't fit the punishment for that. Like, no. Jesus Christ. We'll have to just get right into spoilers. If you haven't seen Oldboy, what are you doing? What are you doing with your life? You gotta watch it. To me, it's one of the greatest movies ever made, so you just have to please watch it.
I can agree with that.
Good. Without further ado,
spoilers for Oldboy 2003, not the shitty remake.
Have you seen that yet?
No, I haven't, and I know I'm gonna be pissed off if I watch it.
That's like a drunk night with a friend. Watch that.
Oh, yeah, I guess. I mean,
because that'll probably be the only thing that'll make it tolerable for you, because you're just like, they're ruining this scene, they're ruining that scene.
I just can't believe, it's gonna be just so disrespectful to the original. Like, who needs a remake of that? But anyway, I guess, when I say the crime doesn't fit the punishment for Ode-su, because all he did was spread a rumor about Lee Woo-jin, about him, and the fact that, like, you know, he got his sister pregnant, basically. That was basically the lie that he spread, to the point to where I just thought this was kind of strange, to the point to where, like, because, you know, your mind is powerful and it can, like, convince yourself of things, to where, like, Lee Woo-jin even said that his sister's belly started swelling and she stopped, like, having her period after that, because she was so convinced she was pregnant when she wasn't. And then just, like, how it made her, like, commit suicide and just, like, ruin their lives just because of one rumor, which it's not completely false. Like, he didn't get her pregnant, but they were having some weird incest shit, and who knows what else we didn't see on camera. But So I mean, Ode-su spread a rumor, but then I don't know if he took it a bit far with his plan to fuck with Ode-su.
Yeah, his plan went very, very beyond. Yeah, like, it's not even just, like, the whole incest thing, but it's also just, like, you know, that plus locking up for 15 years. Jesus Christ.
Which he apparently... Exactly. That alone is enough punishment, like locking somebody up for 15 years in the same room and almost driving him crazy. I mean, basically driving him crazy. I guess he had to lock him up for 15 years for his plan to work, obviously, because the daughter had to grow up to be a certain age to where he wouldn't recognize her, and then this could all fall into place. But man, what a fucking elaborate plan. It involved, like, hypnotism and just, like, drugging him and just, like, making sure these people are in the right place place at the right time and doing the exact, when he was explaining the whole plan, that's like when you're like, holy fuck, like all of this.
He went all out.
He just like, it was just all laid out. Like he spent his whole life. That's why I think this is such a cool villain too.
Yeah.
Is that he just, not only like how he planned all this shit out, but the fact that like it consumed his whole life, and he was like, it was the only mission he had in life, which is why after that he shot himself, because he realized like, okay, he won. He broke Ode-Soo, like he broke him to the point where he cut off his own tongue.
Yeah,
so, like,
fucking hell.
I know that scene was, that whole ending, it just gets me like,
yeah, the entire ending sequence is unbelievable. It's so good.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy, to the point to where, I mean, when he's fighting that one guy, and then then Lee Woo-jin shoots him in the head, and then Ode-Soo cuts off his own tongue, and then he plays the tape of
it's just torture nonstop until the end.
It is.
Like,
it's
Jesus.
Exactly. It's just everybody just doing the worst shit. I love the whole way it played out. I don't even know. Yeah, it just never bores me whatsoever. And a lot of people find it to be kind of confusing, like the plot, which I can understand, but man, that's why you need to just rewatch it, because then it just all makes sense. Like, because the first time I'm sure I was confused.
I think I might have been the first time, but this time around it was pretty clear to me. But I would rewatch it again plenty of times for sure, because it's just it's constantly entertaining. It's interesting. The acting is incredibly good. The cinematography is amazing.
Yeah, it's just everything is just.
The writing,
every on point with everything.
I got really like I said like in my rewatch thing, like I literally just wanted to like clap afterwards, but it was like you know, at the end when he's like talking to the like hypnotist woman in the snow.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and like they're like reading from that page, and it brings back that quote from that guy on the building that was going to kill himself. It's like, even though I'm no more than a monster, don't I too have the right to live? It's like putting that like right at the end. I was like, oh man, fuck.
I know, it's just fucking poetic. It's just
so
like
good.
Perfect storytelling. It brings it all full circle. And I mean, my favorite quote, which I literally have on my wall right here, you can't read it from here, but that's an old boy picture, and it's laugh and the world laughs with you, weep and you weep alone. I just think that's so fucking awesome. And just there's
so many good quotes. It's such good writing.
It is, and like I just love, because that quote pops up throughout the whole movie, and my favorite part about it, I think, is I think he says it at one point when he's walking out of this is after the scene in the elevator to where he steals that woman's sunglasses, and then that was after he talked the guy out of like jumping off the roof, or at least, you know, he didn't talk him out of it, he was just talking to him.
No, he sort of like made him do that in the end, because he pretty much just like told him his whole life story, and then he's like, okay, I'll tell you mine now. And he's like, no, see ya.
he just gets up and walks away, because I mean, if I was locked up for 15 years, I'd be like, yeah, fuck everybody else's story. I was locked up for 15 years. I just want revenge now. But just the moment after that, when he walks down and then he's walking away, and then in the back you see him fall and crash into the car, like after he jumps off the roof, and then Ode-Soo starts laughing. Just that all brings it back to that, laugh and the world laughs with you, weep and you weep alone. Like, so he's done weeping. He's embraced, like, I'm a monster on the search for revenge, and like, you know, it's just incredible. It's just incredible. And we gotta talk about the hallway fight scene. How can you not talk about the hallway fight scene?
It's too good.
It's just one shot. I mean, maybe you picked this up, but I'm pretty sure they even said that they took inspiration from this. But the fight scene in Daredevil season 1, that hallway fight scene they pretty much like took inspiration or homage to Oldboy, because that was all one shot in a hallway, and it wasn't with as many people, but it just looks amazing. It's just like there are moments that go a little, I love the movie so much so I don't care, but like to where if you really think into it, you're like, how the fuck, this doesn't make any sense, but I don't care. It's like when he opens the elevator and all of them are just standing there and they fall down and he's just standing there. It's so badass. I don't even care how he did that.
Exactly.
And because this was adapted from a manga, like a graphic novel, so like I'm sure all this was in there. It just works so well. I mean, I could talk about it forever.
Incredible.
But yeah, it's
easy 10.
It's just got everything about his style that is the best. So anyway, yeah.
That's Oldboy.
That's Oldboy. Go watch it.
Watch it.
Next one.
It'd be Lady
Yes,
Vengeance,
the next
right?
one, it would be Lady Vengeance, yeah. Which I thought the title was Sympathy for Lady Vengeance. I think it was at a time, and then they just changed it.
It is, but they go between for some reason. I don't know. It's probably just like
Yeah.
different regions. It's different names. Whatever you
This
want to
was
call
the
it.
one that I watched most recently.
Well, I
and
watched it
man,
today earlier. It would have been the last one I watched if I hadn't watched I'm a Cyborg, but
It was a bad one to end on for you, but
oh well.
oh man, yeah, this was I mean I loved it. I think you said you're kind of mixed on it.
Yeah, I need to let it sit for a while. I think I did like it. It's just I
That's
think
good.
I think the second half is a lot better than the first.
I do agree, and which is why I wasn't sure if this was a 10 for me, but like the more I thought about it, and I have a really bad habit of, this is like, I wish I could get rid of this habit, but whenever I'm watching a movie, I'll be watching the movie and I'm already thinking about what I would rate it, and I hate that I do that.
Yeah.
But so there was like the whole movie I was kind of like fluctuating between like 4.5 and like, but by the ending, which we'll get into later, by the ending then I was like, yeah, this is a 5. Even if the first half is slow, which it kind of at times is slow, and I don't really understand like where it's going. Like I said in my Letterboxd review, I said this is the closest he came to recapturing like what I love about Oldboy. I mean, Oldboy is just on a whole nother fucking planet though, like of its own quality, as opposed to the rest of his movies. I just think that movie's untouchable, but this is close enough for why I love Oldboy.
I don't know what to say about it, really. I think that I really hate saying this about Park Chan-wook because I really do like a lot about him, but this one felt a little style over substance occasionally.
I mean,
mostly in the
and
first
it's
half.
what exactly I guess really gave you that vibe, like
I
just
think-
style over substance.
I think it's just some of the way that some scenes are structured, and there are occasional moments where it's like, why is this in there? I don't know, it's just like really sort of awkward type moments that I didn't really get why they were there. I have to say, I find the Australia scene embarrassing.
Oh,
Like,
I was wondering what you would think about that, because like I didn't know that there was like Australian people in
yeah,
the
I didn't
movie,
expect that.
but I didn't expect that either.
But only
I
because
guess
like
that's not spoiling it yet, but yeah.
yeah, no.
Um,
But it's just like there's this one moment, like they're talking with her for a while, and she's getting drunk and all that stuff. And
was that the embarrassing part? Just them like
No,
being
no, no,
drunk
no.
and stupid?
it was just this one like bit, you know how like after the daughter is like begging, let me come to Seoul. She's like screaming about it over and over, and then it just like cuts to her like holding a knife against herself,
Yeah.
and then like. You see like the parents' reaction to it. I was like looking at the dad's face, and it was the weirdest face ever. And I was just like, this
I was
looks like
looking
it's
at
just
the moms, and I thought that was the weirdest
they're
face
both
ever. But
pretty
both were
fucking
weird.
goofy.
Yeah.
they're both just going
No.
like that. I was
know.
like, what the hell? What is that? It was
I know,
weird.
the mom was just like,
Yeah.
and I was just like, I know, that was the one moment in the movie where I'm like, I don't know why they're doing that. I thought the editing choice was kind of funny, but like it made no sense either. Like,
Yeah.
you know how that's a typical like editing joke to where like, you go from one thing completely cut to like that. I mean,
Yeah.
I kind of found it like, I find this movie to have a lot of kind of goofy moments, and to be honest, like the part to where she like flips the tofu plate over and puts on sunglasses and just says go screw yourself, that like
That was cool.
that just sets the tone for
Yeah.
me about the movie. It's kind of like tongue-in-cheek at times, so I kind of chalk moments up to that, similar to that, to where
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's not quite as serious as like Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance or anything, but it's gonna have its little weird, quirky, goofy moments, I guess, even though it is a serious story. And
Yeah.
it gets way more fucking serious at the end for sure. But
Yeah, I think that's why I liked it more. But
yeah,
I mean, up until that point, it was a bit muddled for me, but it's still good. It's just I don't think that there will be a time that this is like not my least favorite of the Vengeance trilogy. It's just
and that's fair. I mean, yeah.
just because Oldboy is so good and Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance right now for me
Yeah.
is so fucking brilliant. Like, but
And
Lady
that's fair,
Vengeance
I mean,
is
'cause,
like good still.
Yeah, it's definitely a good, like, the trilogy as a whole is great. I mean, you can't deny that. And that's what a lot of people probably hold those 3 movies above almost anything else he's done, I guess, besides Handmaiden. But I don't know. I mean, I like the themes between all these movies, like the theme of obviously vengeance. the fact that nobody is perfect, that is a theme throughout all of these three movies. What I do like, because it gradually builds towards the end and it gets better and better. I'm sure you would agree, like
absolutely.
towards the end. But what really like kind of gives you also that feeling is the fact that I didn't even notice it happening before my eyes, but the fact that the film just desaturates slowly throughout the end to where like I think the more and more characters do bad things, it's them like losing their humanity, which is why it goes black and white.
I loved
that.
I did love that.
I know that was brilliant. To me, that was like brilliant because I didn't even notice it until the end. I was like, "Is there something wrong with my TV?"
Well.
It did, yeah. But it was so like seamless that like, and by the end, it caught me so off guard because I didn't even realize it happening. That I literally like checked my TV like picture settings because I thought that something was wrong, but like I was like, no, that's part of the storytelling. But might as well just touch on like spoilers, mainly the ending I want to talk about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Spoilers for Lady Vengeance. I was about to say sympathy for Lady Vengeance, but
whatever it is.
Whatever. The ending. That's what solidified for me as a 5. I loved seeing like the idea of, because it could have been so simple for them to just like her to just have him tied up and shoot him in the head and then that be her getting her vengeance, but finding all the tapes of all the kids that this guy kidnapped and
that was a
killed,
hard
basically.
scene to watch.
That was
a hard
could you
fucking
imagine
scene
being
to watch.
It was, and like, could you imagine being in the parents' shoes? Like,
Ugh.
they're all. I love how she got all these people together. She just sat them down and was like, "You just have to watch this."
Yeah.
And because these are real. I'm sure these are all good, like good-hearted people, but it like turns them into almost, basically torturers based on what the fuck this monster did. It's just, I love the idea of like, turning a good person, like seeing how far a good person can be pushed. That's like a theme I love in movies. So that's why it solidified it as a 5 for me. Just seeing them all like sat down and like with all their different weapons, like just waiting in line. I was like, this is real. I've never seen this in a movie, so this is great.
That was one bit of comedy that really worked for me as well, was when like that woman next to that guy is like, is that like baton gonna be enough? And he's like attaches an axe to it. He's like, yeah, I think it'll be enough.
I knew that was exactly what I knew you were gonna say. Yeah,
it's
that
so
scene,
good.
I laughed out loud. I was like,
me too.
This is a really fucked up situation, but like that was hilarious. And what's he gonna do with that fucking axe?
Oh my god! And then he like comes in like fucking swinging, and like people have to stop him. He's like, no,
he just comes in like full charge. Like, oh my god! But I'm surprised that the guy lived to see the last person in line. I thought he would like bleed out by the fucking time that like halfway through the line. But
yeah, Jesus.
Yeah, it was just the ending for sure was the strongest moment. And yeah, just that whole ending with all the parents and how they took a picture afterwards. At first I thought like them taking a picture was just like, I didn't know why they did that, but then I realized they did that so that none of them could turn each other in or incriminate themselves, like without making themselves guilty. So like I thought that was really clever too.
I don't think I would really, if I were in that situation, I don't think I would really feel guilt about it at all. I would just be like, nah, fuck this guy.
Oh no, yeah.
What really, like,
yeah, there's
I mean, this is something you brought up a bit earlier as well, like, just the whole thing about, no one's perfect in, like, the trilogy. But, like, when he, like, literally says that to the, like, old woman that's about to kill him, right as he's about to die, like, that's, like, the last thing he says. He's like, well, ma'am, no one's perfect. And it's like, you raped and killed kids, and you're saying that to this person. Holy shit.
Exactly. Yeah,
like, the balls on this guy. I was like, fuck you, man. Fuck you.
Right.
Get out of here.
Like, yeah, I mean, he knew he was gonna die, I guess. Like, he wasn't, like, because if you're trying to talk your way out of it, that is not what you would say to, like, the family of, a kid that you
He wasn't trying to talk his way
so.
out of it. He knew he was gonna die.
Yeah, he knew he was fucked. And I guess that's another thing, apart from even just the story. Another reason I liked the movie so much was that, besides even just, like, the editing and the use of soundtrack and all that, was how it used so much of the same cast as Oldboy. Like, I didn't even know that the guy that played Odesu played Oldboy Oldboy was the main bad guy of the movie. I didn't even know he was in the movie. So when he popped up, I was like so happy. And then I realized what character he was, and I was like, damn.
I did know that he was in the movie beforehand, unfortunately, but I probably would have been like, wow, if I didn't know.
Yeah, it was just kind of cool though, because like throughout the movie, then a character or an actor that was in Oldboy, which I haven't seen them in hardly anything else, they would pop up. It was almost like just a cool cameo or like a cool nod to that. And
he uses so many of the same actors, and
it's
I
like
love
the Park
it.
Chan-wook universe.
But even in Thirst, I'm a Cyborg, there's like a lot of the same like side people as well. Yeah, you'll recognize a lot of people in like all his films. One that I did love was the two assassins being played by like the main two in Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance. Like it was Song Kang-ho, like the father in Sympathy, and the deaf guy. And I was like, these two assassins just try to kill Lady Vengeance. I'm like, yes.
I know. Cool. It's awesome. It's just like a whole ensemble.
Yeah, it's great.
Like all the people that he's kind of used, and which it makes sense to have that as is like in his third movie. You know, it's like kind of a closing to the trilogy. Brings almost all of them back, and I thought that was cool.
It is a movie that I really
just,
like. I really like it. I want to like it more. So I think I might need to maybe rewatch or just let it sit for a while.
Right.
But it is very
that's
good.
exactly how I felt about Mr. Vengeance. So I'm sure that would change for both of us if we rewatch those. But
true.
Yeah.
I just didn't know what to expect with this one.
But, yeah.
I did just want to say before we move on, there's like a few things that I noticed, because I watched the whole trilogy today, and there's a few things that I noticed that are like running sort of things that are in there. You know the scene in Oldboy where she's talking about like the ants, and there's the ant on the train and stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's like a part in Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance where they're like, he's having sex with his girlfriend and she's talking about like a bunch of different things about how ants can like predict earthquakes and stuff like that.
Oh.
So there's like a running theme with ants, I guess. That's
interesting.
There's also one point in Lady Vengeance where she mentions justifying kidnapping, basically, and that's like a whole thing that they talk about in Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance. They're like, you know, does this make us bad kidnappers if we're just doing this for a good reason? And they bring that back in Lady Vengeance, so I was like, oh wow, okay.
Yeah, that's true. I never even like thought to connect the dots between these movies.
There's a lot of running themes. It's crazy.
Yeah, and that makes it more. Now I can see why they call it a trilogy. I thought that fans just randomly called it a trilogy because it dealt with vengeance, but no, it makes sense. It feels like a cohesive thing.
Yeah, it's a lot of the same themes and stuff.
Yeah.
There's also like one bit that I noticed. I don't know if it's like a connection or whatever, but I did notice it. You know how Odesu always gets like gassed in his room?
Yeah.
Yeah, that happened at the end of Lady Vengeance. The daughter, she's like in her room with the like Australian couple, and like gas starts coming in the door. And I'm like, what does that mean? Like it was just one shot, but I was just like, eh?
Oh god, yeah.
So that's really strange.
Wow, didn't even like think about that, but that's true.
Yeah, we could analyze these films all day. Jesus.
Yeah, no, they're much deeper than we probably even realize. Like we're probably scratching the surface.
Yeah.
I just love him so much. Like Park Chan-wook knows what's up.
And the last one
knows what's up.
The last one that I noticed, and it's like it's sort of like a small thing, I guess, but it's, you know, something nonetheless. In all of the movies, somebody gets tied up and tortured.
That's true.
Yeah,
that is true. God,
so like the teeth scene in Oldboy, and the first one, like how Song Kang-ho hooks that guy's girlfriend up to a car battery.
And what was the Lady Vengeance had the I guess obviously the ending.
Yeah, the ending
where he was tied up. That's totally true.
It's a crazy trilogy.
It is a crazy. It's one of the most like brutal trilogies ever. Like you'll ever watch.
Can be really sickening.
It can be. Yeah, it's interesting because it goes from like kind of heaviest to like lightest. Like Lady Vengeance, it's definitely heavy at the end, but it's kind of like tongue in cheek for like the first half. Like I said, I mean, I don't know. It's a great trilogy.
If we meet up again, we should do a rewatch of this whole trilogy. That'd be fun.
Sure. Oh yeah.
All right. What are we moving on to? There's 2 left, right?
2. Yeah, there's only 2.
Oh,
so. Shit. This one's kind of it just feels out of place with his movies, but I think we both liked it. And that's Stoker.
Yeah, it's his only English language one, right?
Just, really, like, I was surprised when I saw this was directed by Park Chan-wook, and that's the only reason I watched it. I probably never would have randomly watched this movie if it wasn't directed by him. And this is honestly another one that it's similar to Mr. Vengeance. It's such a blur that when you mention scenes, I'll probably be like, oh yeah, I need to watch this. Yeah, I watched it like 2 days ago
or something. It's good. I think it's very good. It's not like among my favorites or anything, I don't think. I don't absolutely love it, but it's good.
It is certainly good, yeah, for sure. Like, I mean, Nicole Kidman, I thought her performance was great. Everyone's performance was great.
Yeah,
sure.
I loved Mia Wasikowska. I think that's how you say it. But like,
the main
she needs to be in
actress,
more. Seriously, like this made
Yeah,
me
she
actually
was
like
great.
her quite a lot.
I didn't know she was in Devil All the Time. I didn't know that.
Yeah, in like one
And-
fucking scene. Like,
Oh, yeah. And she plays Alice in like Tim Burton Alice in
Yeah.
Wonderland. That's what I know her from, I guess, apart from this. Oh, and you haven't seen the movie The Double, I don't think.
no, not yet.
Man, she's like the main actress in that. She's great in that. But anyway, fuck, what else? Like, I don't even remember. You're gonna have to refresh my memory on a lot of this, because it's just a blur. I don't know why.
Do you remember what it's about or anything?
Hardly. I remember, like, this uncle comes in, right?
Yeah, it's
And
like
he's a shady kind of character.
the main character. Her dad dies.
India. I
Yeah,
think her
India.
name, yeah.
Yeah, her dad dies, and then the uncle that she never knew about or whatever comes to the funeral and then ends up staying with them for a while, and then they
And then plot ensues. Yeah.
they do shit, and it's wacky.
A little bit, yeah.
The dude who plays the young Han Solo is in this movie as well.
Alden Ehrenreich, really?
Is that how you say
I
it?
think that's his name. Alden Iron. Oh, fuck.
Because I remember when I was like reviewing that movie,
Yeah.
like I said his name was like Ehrenreich or something like that. I was so confused.
That sounds
like how
German.
the fuck do you say that?
Ehrenreich. I think it's just Alden Ehrenreich. Yeah.
So not Ehrenreich.
But I've totally forgot he was in the fucking movie. Oh my gosh. Yet again, I want to rewatch this amongst Mr. Vengeance for sure. Yeah, great movie. I gave it a 4 out of 5. I think you mentioned the editing. Did you mention
Oh
the editing?
yeah,
in
the
your
editing
review?
was
Fucking
fantastic.
yeah, it was great.
And
Like,
the
yeah,
score
movie
and the
just looks
sound
great.
design. Oh my god.
Yeah, technically the movie's like amazing. I think the only reason that it's a blur to me, I think the pacing was probably just a bit slow for me. I just probably wasn't fully invested in the story.
Yeah, it definitely could be at times. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's kind of what for me muddled it down a bit and like made me not remember it as well. I mean, I like the ending. I like the ending.
Oh, the
sure.
ending's great.
The
It's
ending is
really
cool.
like cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like how it sort of it opened with that like part of that scene or whatever, and then like it happens again at the end, and you're like, oh, okay, that's what was going on there. Jesus.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
And I love like I don't know why, but I love like the shot of her just like looking at the police guy and like the reflection in his sunglasses. It's so cool.
Yeah, it
I was
is.
just like, that's awesome.
Like, and that's the thing. I could imagine a lot of people calling this movie style over substance, but no, I mean, it probably has its substance too. I just don't remember it.
I think it does have it's definitely substantive, but it can occasionally feel that way, but I don't know if it's just because it's like him making a movie that's not Korean, but it does feel like slightly basic at times, just because like, you know, it's like a sort of basic enough thriller that's like easy to follow. There's not like that many like big crazy themes that you like with Park Chan-wook's movies usually. It's just sort of like, this is the plot, this is how it goes. You don't have to gather that much else from it. Like, that's why it was not like an amazing movie to me, but it was still good.
Right. Yeah, I would agree with that. It feels very like simple for him.
Yeah.
Like he's usually all like super complex and like big ideas and like weird storytelling and you know, timeline that goes all over the place. But yeah, for this,
And the way it unravels at the end, it's just sort of like, you know, wow, big twist moment. And I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah, it's definitely like, it's a lot toned down for him. It's very toned down in a lot of ways, to where you wouldn't even probably know he directed it if you didn't like know beforehand. But like when I'm watching a Park Chan-wook movie, like if I didn't know it was directed by him, I would be watching it and I would know if it's him, because his style is that obvious. But if I was watching this and I didn't know, then I don't think I would. Like, that's the thing. That's why it feels like the black sheep of his whole filmography. But either way, it's still a great movie. I enjoyed it, and
I think it's mainly the
4 out of 5.
performances that did it for me. The performances and the editing and score. But
Same.
it could have been
For
better
me, it
written.
was- yeah, for sure. Like, for me, everything except the story. The story is the only thing I would need to rewatch it to really appreciate more. But everything else, yeah, it was up to par for him.
That's Stoker.
And then that's Stoker. Last one, his most recent one, Decision to Leave. Woo! Yeah.
This is my third watch of his movies. I thought it was second, but that was Thirst. But I watched it over Discord with Julia, so we were both reacting to it. I just keep thinking about it. I can't stop thinking about it.
I know.
At the same time, it's like there are so many things about it that I really want to try and understand, and I want to rewatch this. Like, this feels like a sort of maybe old boy Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance type situation where I just want to rewatch it and gather things from it.
No, I'm in the same exact boat.
Yeah.
Like, it's a big movie. Like, it's over 2 hours. It's like 2 hours, 10 minutes, 20 minutes? Yeah, it's almost 2.5 hours.
And there's so much to unpack.
There is a lot to unpack, and like to where, and like I said, I mean, it's not an issue, but like to where his stories, they gradually get more and more, not convoluted, but just complex, to where I'm like, okay, I gotta like back up a bit. I gotta rewatch some scenes. What's happening? Like, why are they doing this? Like,
I'm glad he really tried with this movie. It seemed like he really, really tried.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like I guess not a return to form, because like Handmaiden is very similar to this too. So he's always had this style. But to me, I'm not gonna lie, the only thing, I give it a 4.5 out of 5. So like, I loved it, I really did. But the only thing that it's this, to me, the story is kind of basic. Like, okay, investigating a death. Oh, he suspects the wife. I mean, that's, and then like the plot gets more mysterious and stuff.
I think it's just a good like Park Chan-wook type spin on like a police mystery type movie, but it's also like a romance type thing as well.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's true. Like, I didn't expect it to be a romance. From the description, I just thought it to be
it's a lot of things in one, I
crime
think.
Investigation, but no, it's a lot.
I do have to say that I think, like, I don't know if this will change, but like, it's at the very least top 3 best shot of his movies. It's shot so fucking well.
I would agree.
Oh my god, I was just like wrapped up in all of it. And this is something that I also wanted to bring up about like just his films in general. Something that stayed so consistently great with him is his transitions between scenes. Yeah. Like, in this one, like, oh my god.
Yeah, it's so good. Like, technically the movie's, it looks great. Yeah, it's just amazing.
Oh,
like,
just
the end,
awesome.
like, there was a scene, and maybe we'll get into it if we get into spoilers, but where him and the main woman of the movie, they're like towards the edge of like this like drop off, and it's dark and it's snowing.
Yeah.
That scene alone, where it was just, they were out in the dark and it was snowing, and like the movie just looked so beautiful. I don't know why. Okay. It just looks so clean and just so like, perfect. So there was
so many shots like that were just amazing. And I love like, the main actor's performance. The main actor carried it like in some moments as well. Like, he's so good.
He was.
He's a great character.
He was great. He was in Memories for Murder, where he actually played a bad guy. So that's why like the role was flipped, and he played the police in this one. But that was a Bong Joon-Ho movie. So but anyway, he was great. I've been listening to that. You know that song that plays throughout the movie, that Mist by
Me Too.
Whoever. I started replaying that. I've just been listening to it.
It's such a good song.
Yeah. Like, Park Chan-wook just knows how to use music, too. Like, he just really does.
Yeah, whether it's, like, made for the movie or, like, music that's used outside of it. It's, like, it's always just so well done. Yeah,
it just has everything, like, about a Park Chan-wook movie that I do like. To me, the only thing that probably is keeping it from being, yet again, a perfect movie is just kind of the story. It didn't fully interest me, but, like, everything else for sure was interesting me. So
I really do just feel like it's a movie where I'll like it more the more I rewatch it.
For sure, yeah.
But even now I love it, like a lot about it at least. I don't completely unconditionally love it, but you know, I can maybe get to that point, who knows. No,
same here. I loved it as well, but it definitely could use a rewatch to like put together the pieces of the story better for me. Because it is like stories like this, I'm bound to miss details. It's complex.
It's very packed.
It is.
Do you want to get into some spoilers?
I'm trying to think of a scene, like, or what I would talk about, but I guess, okay.
Spoilers for Decision to Leave.
Well, I mean, the initial twist of her like actually killing her husband, right? That whole like sequence where like he investigates it all and she pushes him off the cliff and shit. That was something where I was like, oh wow, okay, like I didn't think that would be the case. And then I was like, well, this must be like towards the end of the movie. And then I checked the runtime. I'm like, oh, what?
Exactly.
Like,
that's also shit. What I thought too, because that was like barely halfway through the movie, probably, right?
Yeah, it was like an hour and like maybe 10-20 minutes or something like that. I was like,
Yeah,
that can't be much longer. And then I was
think
like, there's like another hour and like 15 minutes.
I know, that's I think that's what I also did. I checked the runtime, and that's why it does make the plot a bit more complex. The fact that he like basically falls in love with her, so like he's conflicted, and the fact that she not only killed her husband, but hasn't she been doing this to like other people as well, basically? Or like she's been, what was the deal? No, fuck,
I'm trying to
to
remember
think.
now too. You've confused me with that
it
one.
gets so like, yeah,
There's a lot of details. I feel like we just got to rewatch it and then come back
I
to it
know.
another time.
Yeah, I sometimes my first reaction or my first viewing, it's a little too much to take in for me. Like I'm too focused on other things, but
Even then, it's like it's just one of those movies, I think, where it is very, very detailed. I wouldn't be like this with every movie, but this one, absolutely.
yeah. No, for sure. Yeah. I mean, a memorable moment for me was definitely the ending, obviously.
Yeah.
Where he's looking for her. He was basically standing like right in the area that she did drown, and I was like, right there, it's right fucking there. But no, the water pushed all the sand in, and it was a good ending for sure.
I loved a lot about it, but I do really want to rewatch it. So
Me too. That same with all of his movies. There is so much to unpack that it's not just a basic linear movie that I can watch like and just grasp my first time. A lot of his movies take a few watches. So
the only ones that I feel like I really want to rewatch and get to love more is Decision to Leave and Lady Vengeance. I think Lady Vengeance is a less complex film, but Decision to Leave is like,
complex.
There's so many things moving in that movie, and I need to watch it again.
Yeah, there is a lot of things to pay attention to, and I would totally rewatch it down the road as well. But for me, my priority is definitely Mr. Vengeance. I want to rewatch Stoker at some point, and Joint Security Area, and then get to the other stuff I haven't seen. Yeah, but like I said, even Handmaiden, I've seen that twice, and I still can't wrap my head around everything in that movie. It's just, to me, that you're totally gonna have to have a couple watches with that, trust me, because I'm like, what the fuck.
That's one of his most like popular though, so
so I thought it was gonna be, but it's definitely not a simple or like straightforward story whatsoever. Like it jumps around, it follows different characters, motivations change. I'm like, what the fuck.
It feels like with his last few movies he's gotten like less fucked up though.
Yeah, that's, I mean, less fucked up, I guess. Yeah, from the Vengeance trilogy, if that's what you mean. Yeah, because this movie it doesn't have like a lot of crazy brutal action, I wouldn't say.
No, it has like, gory shit in like the crime scenes, but that's about it.
And that's what I like about him, is that he knows when to use it based on the story. Like the Vengeance trilogy needs all of that brutal violence because that's the point.
Yes, it does. It does.
And then and then Decision to Leave, like obviously just, save it for those scenes that really need it. So he never overdoes it, he never underdoes it. He always like hits the mark pretty much all the time. So
pretty much just wants to do what's necessary for the story, and that's why I appreciate him a lot.
Same here.
He's becoming a favorite as of right now. I really love what I've seen so far, except for Thirst and Cyborg, but yeah.
Right. Yeah. Same here for me. I have yet to see a movie that's under a 4 out of 5. So I love what he's done.
Great director.
Wonder, should we get into rankings?
Yeah, we can rank it. Just before I get to that, there was like other stuff that I just wrote down, and I just wrote what was a constant through his films basically. And like I said, the transitions thing, like transitions are always just so well done. But he has more feet than Tarantino does.
Really?
I'm
I
sure
didn't
of
even
it.
notice that.
He has so much. Like, it's fucking crazy.
I don't know. Well, maybe he does, but like the reason I don't notice is because Tarantino like focuses in on it nonstop. I haven't noticed with Park Chan-wook.
Well, he's done quite a lot.
He does. I don't know.
It's a director trademark. That's all.
I guess so.
And the only other thing that I noticed is very strong women, very strong female characters.
That is
like
true.
Pretty much in all of them. Like they're all just great.
Strong female characters and just very like complicated characters like that. No one's especially in some movies more than others, but like nobody's completely good and nobody's completely bad, to where you can kind of see where everybody's coming from. So that's what makes you conflicted on a lot of things. So that's what I love the most about his movies.
All right, let's rank them.
Well, yeah. So do you want to hit your 7
You can take a guess what it is.
Oh yeah, I can take a guess. Old boy? No, I don't know.
Motherfucker.
If it was Old Boy, I think I'd throw myself out of this window in front of me.
This episode would be called Quinn
Man.
Quits.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's I'm a Cyborg, but that's okay.
Yeah.
I don't like it very much. That's one where I really just can't see myself liking it in the future. Maybe I could see myself appreciating things about it. I do think that the themes that are running in there are strong, but they are so miscommunicated, and the movie is just ends up being a goofy mess, I think. Yeah, I wish I liked it more, but that's my least favorite. So.
And my number 7, and yet again, like I said, my lowest rated film from him is a 4 out of 5. So like, I still like this movie quite a bit, but it does need a rewatch, and that is Stoker. It feels like the black sheep of his filmography. Like I said, like it's the only one that, even though the editing and all that is great, it's the only one that doesn't give me like the Park Chan-wook feel, whether it's with the themes and the story or the characters, all that. It just kind of feels out of place, or like, but then I don't know if that's being fair, because like if I just remove the fact that like he directed it and just view it for the movie it is, I mean, that's what matters. I shouldn't be viewing it just as like, well, this doesn't feel like a Park Chan-wook movie, but it doesn't. So
at the very least, it's still good.
Yeah, it's still good for sure. Still a 4 out of 5, which maybe that's the only one that is kind of being generous, because I was between a 3.5 and a 4, so I need to rewatch it. But yeah, that's my 7th.
My 6th is Thirst. That was hard to say. Yeah, it's just a bit of a mess. It's a bit overlong. The pacing is like horrendous in the midsection, I think. Song Kang-ho is good. Fun to watch as a vampire.
I gotta see that. Yeah, that'd be funny.
It's good for those kind of moments, and I do like the last like 40 minutes. Like I said, I think that's when it gets really interesting, but up until that point, it's just like, come on. So yeah.
Well, my number 6, and I know that I know that you won't agree with this placement at all, but that's because I need to rewatch it. I really need to rewatch it, and it would probably jump a few spots, but I do have Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance at number 6, because it was so much to unpack, and like, I think, I'm not gonna lie, I think I went into that movie expecting Old Boy level of quality, because I was like, it was my second of the trilogy to watch, and I was like, man, if this is part of the same trilogy as Old Boy, like, I'm gonna hold it to that standard, and I shouldn't have done that, because like, nothing will ever top Old Boy for me. So yeah, great movie, maybe just some of the pacing and stuff, but that could totally change on rewatch. So as of now, it's number 6.
I do definitely think you'll like it more on a rewatch.
Oh yeah,
like I was watching it and I'm like Quinn would fucking love this, surely.
And I know I'm going to. I just know I will. It takes a couple watches with this movies, like we said.
Yeah, true. Well, my number 5 is Stoker. It's good. The editing is great. Everything technically and the acting is wonderful, but it's just, yeah, some of the writing is a bit lackluster because it does feel very basic. You know, that's not what I want when I go to Park Chan-wook, so...
Exactly.
But it's still good in parts, and it has a lot of really great qualities about it. So yeah, I like it. Just not amazing to me right now.
My number 5 is Joint Security Area. Great mystery, great movie. Also needs a rewatch. Great debut. Like, holy shit. If this is his feature film debut, whatever. Yeah, it's a great one. So definitely recommend to anybody out there that hasn't seen it. It's one of his lesser talked about ones, but I think it's totally up there in quality with like a lot of his others. So yeah, that's my number 5.
Number 4 is Lady Vengeance. I think I've said all I need to say, really. It's just
yeah,
it needs another watch maybe. I think that the first half is a lot worse than the second, but I think if I considered everything that I know about it now and went in with a rewatch, then maybe I would appreciate some of the things in the first half, and it would go up on a score. For now, it's all right. It's good. Yeah. There's a lot of great things about it. I did like it overall.
As long as you liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my number 4 is The Handmaiden. There was a time to where this was my number 2, but that's before I watched a couple others from him, but it needs a freaking third watch, because like this thing is so complicated. To me it's his most complex story. I really think it is, and it just gets more and more complicated as it goes along, and like I don't see how anybody can fully grasp it their first time unless they're just so focused in. It has all the qualities of a Park Chan-wook movie, like the editing, the soundtrack, the characters. I feel like it's maybe a bit too long. It's an hour 45, or not an hour 45. It's an hour, that's not long. It's 145 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's like 2.5 hours.
I was gonna say, like, what?
Yeah, that's a long movie, hour 45. No.
Damn.
But yeah, overall, it's just a lot to take in. But I can see why people might say it's his best. But I mean, I'm sorry, I can't put anything over Oldboy. I just can't. That's my number 4.
My number 3 is Decision to Leave. I really, really, really loved it, but I think a lot of the reason I love it is because I want to know more about it. I love movies like that where it just intrigues you and you just want to know more, you want to research things about it and understand it more. That's the sign of a great movie for me. So Decision to Leave is fantastic, I think. Number 3 for now.
For sure. My number 3 is also Decision to Leave.
Wait.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I mean, just exactly what you said. That's how I would put it too. It could use another rewatch, even though I loved it my first time as well. It's I'm surprised that I guess I put it in the top 3. Maybe that's a bit high after I rewatched Mr. Vengeance and like Handmaiden, but as of now, it is a very, very well made movie, and just I can't wait to rewatch it again. So, oh god, this is where I'm like, I wonder what you're gonna do here. Oh boy.
Gonna do a
Go
thing.
ahead. Oh no. Okay,
number
go
2.
go for it.
I'm sorry, Quinn.
What?
It's Sympathy for Mr. Vengeance, bitch.
Oh, okay, good. Holy shit.
I got you. Got you with the old switcheroo. Yeah.
I really wasn't sure.
But I have to say that, like, after I watched it, I was really thinking about it, and I was like, do I
Dude,
like this more than Oldboy? But
No, yeah.
yeah,
sure.
like, I can't wait till you rewatch it, because I just know that you'll find so many amazing things about it. But
Oh, I will.
yeah, it just blew me away. Like, everything about it. It just kept moving at, like, such a good pace. Things kept getting more and more interesting as they went on. A lot of the themes in there were just so fucked up, and some of the scenes were just like, oh my god, they really stick with you. And it's so well shot. It's incredibly well acted. I just loved everything about it. Very, very close to number 1, but not quite.
Dude, I could totally see it jumping up like several spots for me on rewatch.
I really hope
like,
it does, yeah.
Totally could. For me, my number 2, Lady Vengeance. Like I said, it's just the closest I got to that old boy feeling. Just from it has very similar qualities, from the story to the soundtrack, the cast, the editing, just some of the sequences. Like, I loved it. It took me a long time to get to it because like this was a big movie from him that like a lot of people have seen, and it just took me a while. But it's the only other 5 out of 5 I have for him right now. But that could totally change.
Yeah, our number 1.
Let's say it on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Oh boy.
Ooh.
Who knew?
One of the best fucking movies ever made.
We're
Yeah,
such
who
basic
knew?
bitches. Like, this is just like
Dude,
the pick.
I know, but it's like we've said before, there's a reason that things are the most popular, and that's sometimes because they are just truly the best. And like, yeah, this is probably what like introduced a lot of people to Park Chan-wook. I think it's his most accessible movie, his most engaging, and it just has all of his best qualities to the fucking max.
I will actually
So,
say
like-
though, I agree with most of that, but I think honestly the most, like, if you're going by like just the general majority, I think the most accessible is actually probably Stoker.
That's true.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah.
But I mean,
For
like,
American audiences, for sure.
yeah, as a story, like Oldboy is like, it's engaging as hell. Like, it moves at a good pace. It's a movie that like a lot of people would be intrigued by if they like gave the time to it.
It's the only movie of his, and honestly one of the movies in general, like out of all the movies I've seen, to where it has made me feel every emotion at some point, whether it's like the beginning where I'm laughing, or like the end where I'm like, I get chills, like goosebumps from the ending when he's
I
talking
did this
to
time
the
around.
hypnotist. Yeah. Where he's talking to the hypnotist in the woods, and like where he's the end where he's like smiling, but then he starts almost like weeping, and you're like, does he remember? Does he know what is going on? And I love how it ends ambiguously, and
Yeah, it's just
it makes me,
so
it's a roller
perfect.
coaster of emotions.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And so, like, it's a perfect movie. It's in my top 3 of all time, and it always will be. I just know it will. So, yeah.
You should dress up as Odesu. That would be so cool.
Dude, oh my god, if I could just find those glasses and
I
get a
know.
suit like that, and then a wig. Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. He's just such a cool character. He's just so fucking badass. Just because scenes are coming to mind, but the only scene I want to talk about, the scene where I knew he was really badass, was like when he gets out of jail, or he gets out of where he was, and he comes across that group of like thugs on the
Yes.
street, and like he's like, does 13 years of television or confinement like teach you how to fight? And then and then he's like, and then he just starts fighting them, and he's like, I guess it does. Oh,
Yeah. It's so
fucking
good.
hell.
Thank you, Park
Anyway,
Chan-wook.
that's thank you. Thank you, Park Chan-wook, one of the best directors, seriously.
Yeah, he's great.
Well, we do have quite a bit of questions to get into, so we should probably get into those.
Do the thing.
Yeah.
Do it.
Oh yeah. Listener questions. Old Child Sport _ Yeah, I don't know who he is, but what's your favorite movie where a juggler is juggling but it goes wrong? I have no idea.
Where do you come up with these questions? That's what I want to know. I don't even know if he listens to the podcast or anything, but I go on like his Twitch streams. He's like a friend of Keelan's, like I've said.
Film Forager, she asks, if you were a character in one of his movies, what type of character do you think you'd be? Or I guess which character? We could change it to that too. Like, what character do you relate to the most, I guess? I'll just put it that way. It's basically...
Or who would be the
she's
most fun
asking.
to play?
Oh, the most fun to play?
That could be...
I guess who I'd want to? I'd want to play Old Boy, then. Apart from some of the weird aspects of that story. The fighting parts. I want to be Old Boy, 100%. Because a lot of his characters are like tragic characters. I don't want to be the character from Mr. Vengeance. There's a lot of just tragic characters, and Old Boy is actually probably the most tragic of them all, so I don't know why I would choose him, but he's just too cool to not choose.
He's very cool. I don't know who's the most, like, non-tragic character, I guess, but the main guy in Decision to Leave, he's not so tragic.
No, not too much, yeah. I mean, the ending is pretty sad, but he can recover from that.
Yeah.
I think. But like some of these characters, there's just no coming back. I don't know. A lot of his characters are just
That question is
very
kind of hard
depressing.
to know the answer to. Like, I don't know what to say to that. Sorry, Chandra.
I would just pick Old Boy. Yeah. Good question, but it's hard with his characters.
I'll play the guy with the like fake hand in Old Boy.
Dude, that character gets fucking tortured left and right. He loses his teeth, and then he loses his hand.
But he ends up
Why
looking
would you
so
wanna be
cool though.
there? I know, but he went through like the most brutal like punishment. I don't know.
I'll be the like white-haired guy that like fights beside the villain.
He gets stabbed in the ear and goes deaf, and then gets shot in the head.
What? That spoilers for Old Boy.
Oh, I thought we kind of spoiled it before anyway. So like if they made it this far, oops, I guess. Next question. Thoughts on his use of violence? Yeah, getting high, watch movies.
Well, I mean, I think we touched on it already, sort of, didn't we?
Yeah, we pretty much did.
Yeah.
He knows when to use it.
Yeah, he
and
does.
he uses it well.
He does use it very well. I think that's all I could really say about it.
Also, from the next two questions are all from him. Getting high, watch movies. But yeah, get high, watch movies. Best film of the Vengeance trilogy. We already talked.
It's Old Boy.
It goes without saying. Old Boy, yeah.
For me, it's Old Boy
and-
Sympathy and then Lady Vengeance. But for you, it's Old Boy Lady and then Sympathy.
Well, his next question kind of relates extremely similarly to somebody else's question, but thoughts on the fact that none of his films have ever received a single Oscar nomination. That's fucking crazy.
I'm
Just
not
another
surprised.
reason the Oscars. Yeah, I don't know why though. Like, I'm trying to think of why. Like, are they too?
Out there.
They're too. Yeah, they're too out there. They're too like harsh and like edgy.
I'm
for
actually
the
surprised.
Oscars, I guess.
I am surprised this year though, because like considering how much
Yeah, this
they paid to like South Korea for like Parasite and all that stuff, like it seems like they're trying to I don't know if it's for better or worse, but they're trying to be more like inclusive, I guess, with like different countries and stuff. So I'm surprised that Decision to Leave got nothing.
I know, that's just baffling.
Like at
to
the
me.
very
Like, and
least,
that's the fact-
cinematography. Like fuck, man.
Right, and the fact that it's like it is one of his most toned down movies. There's no weird incest, there's no extreme violence, there's no whatever like a lot of his other movies have maybe had. I just don't get it.
Yeah, I didn't get it either.
And a similar question from Movies in a Pod Show. He asked, why is Park not recognized by the Oscars? 0 for Old Boy, The Handmaiden, and Decision to Leave. And I guess all the others, I mean, while we're at it. But yeah, we just kind of talked about it. He's just too out there. I know the Oscars like safe movies, so his movies are not safe.
But this is the same thing that I always bring up as well. Like, why do you care about the Oscars?
Right.
Just enjoy the
it's
movie.
Not that, even apart from the fact, though, that, like, the Oscars don't really matter to us, but they matter, whether we like it or not, they matter like culturally or like among the masses. Because like there are people that watch the Oscars, you know, they probably get introduced to a lot of movies that way. And when his movies aren't even being recognized, it's just hiding great movies that should have gotten recognition, you know, shown to like the mainstream. So
but I do think like a director like Park Chan-wook and some others like him, like a lot of international type directors, probably wouldn't care as much because they're just like, I made this film for me, I like this, and like there are people out there that appreciate it, and that's great. They probably don't care that much about getting an Oscar, I don't think.
I hope not, because I mean, I hope he keeps making movies. I mean, clearly he keeps making movies, even though none of his stuff has ever been nominated. So that's good.
His first movie was in like
making movies.
His first movie was in like 2000, and he's still going now. So why would he stop?
Yeah.
You know, you do it because you love it, not because you want to get handouts or get awards, you know? Like, it's the same with doing, like, the podcast. I don't do it for the Patreon money or anything like that. I do it because I like talking about this shit.
Right. Same here.
It's the same with any art form, you know? If you're a true artist and a true passionate person, you wouldn't really give a shit about that stuff.
Right. You can do that. You can apply that to anything. Like, you don't make Instagram content to get more followers. You do it because you love doing it, or at least that's what it should be. So you can apply that to almost anything. Just do it because you love it. Do it for the passion of it.
I mean, fame and followers and money and all that stuff is something that comes with it, and it's, you know, something good, but it's not the end game, I don't think.
Right. It shouldn't be like what drives you. Yeah. It should just be you loving to do it.
If I can make a living and, you know, have enough money to get by, I'm happy.
Yep, same here. Next question. I also got a question from Film Forager. I know that you love these types of questions, Liam.
Oh, is there another? I didn't read yours.
If Park Chan-wook was an alcoholic beverage, what would he be? Hey, she's just trying to throw fun out of the ordinary questions in there for us. And
Thank you, Sean. Thank you.
Yeah. Is it racist to say sake? I don't know.
Maybe? Wait, isn't it? No. Isn't
sake is a Japanese drink.
Yeah, soju is
soju.
Korean.
Well, yeah, either or. They're kind of similar culturally. So, but no, if I was thinking like an alcoholic beverage, what do his movies feel like? Because movies are like they're harsh, and they
hit hard. They leave you feeling a lot of emotions.
Yes. Yeah, so probably really strong like whiskey or something. I don't know.
Yeah, you can get like a warm, nice feeling from it, but occasionally it's just like, ooh, that hurts.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. It's pleasant at times, but unpleasant at other times.
Yeah.
You can't have too much of it, but when you do, it leaves you kind of feeling like shit, but you want more and more of it.
Yeah.
But it's not good that you're wanting more and more of it, but it's just too good to not have.
Okay, so, see, now I like this question. Now I like this question.
See, we can find meaning behind some of these.
Try harder, Chandra. When you try harder like this, I like it.
Yeah.
So thanks for the question.
From movies that don't suck, he asked, Lady Vengeance American Remake? Laughing emoji. So, no. We don't need that. We don't want it.
If they did like a remake of like Sympathy as well, I'd be pissed off.
Oh god, I think that one is too. That one's like the least known and the most like kind of risky amongst them all, probably, right?
Yeah, if they brought it to American audiences, they'd probably water it down quite a bit.
Yeah, they would probably really water it down, and I just don't see, that getting an American remake. I do see them, though, probably remaking Lady Vengeance, and that sucks. I don't want them to do that.
That does seem like one where it could cater better to an American-style remake or whatever, but I don't want it to happen.
No, it's just
not going to be
better than what we already have.
Any English-language remakes, I hate them.
There's very few that, have probably been done well. I can't think of them. Anyway, next two questions are from Alright So Reviews. He asked, why is Stoker underrated? I mean, I'd have to rewatch it to call it underrated.
I think it's
not
sort
a lot
of
people
is.
Talk about it.
It sort of is, yeah, I think. It feels like it should be, more popular than it is, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm surprised it's not, I never see anybody really talking about it.
There's so many great things about it.
It's a great movie. It is. So I would say it's underrated, I guess, but I really need to rewatch it in order to, feel that way, I guess.
Well, answer is I don't know.
Yeah. Why do foreign directors seem to have a hard time breaking through into the American market? Kind of similar to what we were just talking about. I think it's because they have a hard. It's a lot of it is because they just don't want to read the subtitles. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, it really is.
I've talked to a lot of people. Yeah, I've talked to a lot of people that oh, it has subtitles. like I want to show him a movie or like recommend a movie, and then when I say I always have to preface it. I'm like, it's in subtitles. Why is that such a to me? Because I guarantee there was a time for me before I was really into movies. I was that way. I was like, really? I don't want to have to read the whole movie. Now, but then once I realized like there's a lot of incredible stories out there and like great movies, who cares if I just have to like read, you know, the translation, whatever.
So I think it is just as simple as that. Yeah, it really is.
Yeah. Last question. Well, several kind of questions, I think. From Movies in a Pod Shell. Thank you for this very detailed question. Why do people generally prefer Bong Joon-Ho to Park Chan-wook, and why does Bong get more recognition and is generally considered the better director? So we'll tackle that one first. Because yeah, that's always kind of frustrated me too. I mean, it hasn't frustrated me because Bong Joon-Ho is a great director. I don't think he's made a bad movie, at least that I've seen. But he's so much more talked about and so much more recognized. And he won all those awards for Parasite, and
it was deserved.
That's great and all, but
it's very deserved.
It's well deserved. Yeah. He is a great director. I still think Park Chan-wook is a better director, but I think the reason that Bong Joon-ho gets way more recognition is because his movies are just more accessible to people. I feel like they're way less harsh and like out there. They're just more mainstream. That's what I think.
I do prefer Park Chan-wook right now, but I don't think that should like discredit what Bong Joon-ho has done. Like I think that they're both just great directors. They're just very different, and that's okay.
Yeah, they are very different.
I think that Park Chan-wook is celebrated in his own way. I think that Bong Joon-ho, he got like awards for Parasite and all that stuff. Like Snowpiercer is an American movie, and then same with Okja, it's like a Netflix movie. So I think that he's just been able to like, you know, get lucky with breaking through to that kind of audience through doing that kind of stuff. But with Park Chan-wook, it's just his movies are more hard to digest for a lot of people, I think.
I totally agree, because like I've seen those three that you mentioned, and I've also seen The Host and Memories of Murder. Like they're all like pretty, you know, they can be complex movies at times, but like at the end of the day, I really think they're all pretty straightforward. Snowpiercer is like an action movie. Okja and like Parasite, it just all of them are they can be very straightforward and easy to digest, like you said. Yeah, I just think Park Chan-wook, his you're not going to nominate for Best Picture a movie about a guy being locked up for 15 years and then ends up fucking his daughter and then killing a guy on some, you know, you just won't. So,
it's a classic in its own way, but you're not going to nominate it for like something that's
exactly
like an Oscar or
whatever. I feel like Park Chan-wook is more like he's more like of a cult director. Like he has this like really hardcore fan base, but the mainstream doesn't even probably like know his name, that, you know, like, so he's like much more beloved by a certain type of people. And then Bong Joon-ho has just made a wide variety of movies, I guess, of like almost every genre that is just easier for people to watch. And that's probably why I love them both. But I mean, for me, Park is just he caters more to like what I love about movies. So.
It just is based on preference, I think, really.
Yeah, I think so too. But I do agree, Jamie. I wish that Park Chan-wook got as much recognition as Bong Joon-ho, because they both make great movies. I don't know. And then the second part of his question, for me, I guess this is more of a comment. For me, Parasite is a solid 8 out of 10, which is essentially what put him on the map for younger cinephiles and casual viewers. Bong has some fantastic movies, for example, Mother, Memories of Murder, etc., but I would generally consider Park to be the more consistent with the Vengeance trilogy, etc., but he isn't recognized or talked about anywhere near as much. Oh, I guess that was all kind of like,
but like, what do you expect, sort of? I mean, I don't agree that Parasite is what put him on the map for younger viewers. I think that was Okja probably, or Snowpiercer even. Like, Okja was pretty huge when it came out for a lot of people, because it had a lot of actors that a lot of younger people liked in it, and they wanted to see it. It was a Netflix movie. It was easy to watch. You know, so
that's
I think those did it, not Parasite.
I mean, Parasite is now his most popular movie, and one of the most popular movies you'll find. Like, yeah, I think that's another reason that like his movies are they're just more viewed and more accessible, is because of the popular cast. Like, you got Jake Gyllenhaal in one of his movies, you got Chris Evans in one of his movies. Like, he gets popular actors, and like he does English speaking movies.
That's probably the reason why, but I don't think that a lot of younger audiences would latch on to Park Chan-wook.
No, they wouldn't whatsoever. So I think
that's the reason, really.
Yeah, everything about Park Chan-wook's style, it's just his films are just more challenging and they're more draining and like more depressing.
Yeah.
But Bong Joon-Ho's movies are all like kind of, a lot of them are kind of uplifting and like, I don't know, they tackle certain issues and stuff, but they're lighter, they're easier to watch. But they're great in their own way. They do their own style great in their own way.
Yeah. I think just because they're from the same place doesn't mean they should be compared so much. It's like they're very different, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I know they both, you know, are from Korea. They use Song Kang-ho in a lot of their movies, but, you know, still.
I mean, yeah, that's true. I guess it's the same way we would compare, like, you know, Nolan to freaking Scorsese. I don't know if people even compare them, but just like popular directors from a certain type of audience. Like, people are always bound to compare, and I understand why they compare those two. Like, I totally get why, but they do have a distinct style in their own. Anyway, that was the last question, so.
Nice. Thanks for the questions.
A lot of Park Chan-wook talk in this episode. Woo! All right, well, before we close it out, we gotta shout out the patrons again.
Yes.
Because your support means so much to us.
Thank you, Kath Reviews. I'm not gonna make fun of you, don't worry.
I won't either. Okay.
No, thanks, Kath. We appreciate it very much.
Thank you, Julia. Moving _ pictures. I won't make fun of you either, though I don't do that.
I've never made fun of her in my life.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Thank you, Sarah's Popcorn Chat. We appreciate it very much. You're helping us a lot.
And thank you, Film Ardor. Your support also means so much.
Quinn?
Huh?
Quinn, how?
Oh, fuck.
Quinn, holy shit.
Fuckaroo.
You even got it right
cut this
earlier.
part out, you know. Ardor Film. Thank you so much. I don't know why I keep mixing up your name. Oh my gosh.
Thank you, Luna _ Pearl. Thanks, Mom. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Thanks to all the patrons and all the fans, all the support, all the listening. We love ya. Don't forget to rate the podcast, by the way. Some of you haven't rated the podcast, and it's disgusting behavior.
We would appreciate it.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, you can find me at Views by Quinn on Instagram, Letterboxd, all the social medias. Just check out the link tree in the description. You can find all of it there. I would appreciate it.
And you can find me at Movies Music Me on everything, pretty much. Just check the link tree and you'll find my Letterboxd, my YouTube, Instagram. Yeah, check it out.
Yeah. That's about it. Goodbye, everybody. Peace out, bitches.
There we go.